wanna get 'em, but Sandy G, she won't let 'em. If you happen to wander on land and you wanna be a square butt fan, just drive the crew by the Burger King and give that sponge a ring. SpongeBob got back. Yeah.
Respect the pouch! Respect it! Play the new game at respectthepouch.com!
How's it going? I'm Finn.
Hey, Finn. Well, what kind of name's that, Irish?
No, Cheddar. Where are you guys from?
Snack bowl.
Classic baggy.
How about that guy?
Pantry.
You don't say.
So you think you'll like it here?
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be great. Goldfish. The fun little crackers always baked and made with real cheese. You don't feel like a fish out of water? I am a fish out of water.
Like that smiles back.
Goldfish.
800-588-2300 Empire.
Today. All right. Welcome back. If you're watching this on YouTube, you're watching the second part of the stream. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe if you're watching this from the previous part. Where we just left off, we found out the truth about the Holy Grail and that Kotomine is a total asshole. So we're going to go ahead and continue off and probably finish the game. I managed to make it home leaning on Saber's shoulder. The wound in my chest hasn't completely healed. According to Saber, I'll need to lie still for a few hours. At my lip. Curse my body for refusing to listen to me, even though I know what I need to do now.
シロ、何か今、よからぬことを考えませんでしたか？
いや、別に何も考えてないぞ。
まったく、あまり無茶を言うと怒りますからね。
I'd be angry too. Like, go out of your home without Saber? Like you did last time? How you got fucking stabbed?
戦いは傷が完治してからです。最後の戦いになるのですから、お互い万全の体制で臨みましょう。
そうだな。焦るより、今は準備を整えないと。
Thinking about where Kotomine went, about how to defeat Gilgamesh. There's just so much we need to consider. For now, though, we need to rest and wait until night. He said you didn't realize that you had it with you, so is the Holy Grail Avalon? Avalon being the name of the sheath. At that moment, my mind freezes. There's nobody inside. The house feels different. Oh, hey, look, blood. Nice. Mingled with the smell of something burning, I can just pick out the strong scent of blood. I run, ignore my chest wound, and I run to shake off the chilling running down my back. I run through the corridor, turn the corner, and pass through the familiar curtain that divides one room from the house from another of the house. And the scene that greets me is anything but familiar. Man, it's been 4 minutes and the best girl's already fucking dead. My voice trembles. I don't know what happened. All I know is that Tosaka is looking up at me, breathing weakly.
やっと帰ってきた。まったく、もうちょっとで寝ちゃうところだったじゃない。バカ。
What the hell is she saying? It looks like she's really struggling to even speak, but she tries to make conversation like nothing's wrong.
喋るな、バカ。くそ、とにかく血を止めないと。セイバー、風呂場からタオルとお湯と洗面器。
Saber nods and turns to run to the bathroom.
包帯と血止めだけで済むか、バカ。医者を呼んでどうにかしないと。
panic as I pull out the first aid kit.
いい。手当ては自分でしたから医者はいらない。それよりもっと大事なことがあるでしょ。
Osaka's panting, but she looks straight at me.
遠坂
I don't know what the hell she's trying to say. I'm confused, but I just nod and listen to what she has to say.
本当に傷はいいのか遠坂お前これはい
いの。一度目ぐらい自分でできる。
That means she has it.
それよりごめん。留守を任されてたのに私イリアを守れなかった。
I finally put two and two together. Osaka wounded, the living room in disarray, and Ilya gone.
やってきたのは琴峰か
She nods. He's the only enemy left, so there wasn't much point in asking. But Saber and I were the only ones who knew Kozumiya was our enemy. She should have figured it out. I thought she did figure it out. It must have been a shock for Tosaka. The seventh master in her is her teacher and guardian.
謝るないくらお前でも騙し討ちされたらどうしようもないだろう。お前なんだかんだ言って琴峰を信頼してたしさ。
そうね。正直甘く見てた。自分一人でもなんとかなるってうぬぼれてたみたい。
He coughs up blood. Can't we let her keep talking?
話は後にしよう。今は動くな。すぐに手当てをして休ませてやるから。
お願い。けどその前に伝えておかないとダメっぽい。いいシロ。これが最後の助言だからきちんと聞きなさい。
That's ominous. But I just nod. This is serious, especially if she's so insistent on telling me, even as wounded as she is. I couldn't stop her from speaking up now, even if I wanted to.
まず一つ目。琴峰の目的はイリアよ。あの子が今回の聖杯の器だって、あいつは初めから知ってたんでしょうね。
What the fuck?
イリアが聖杯
正確にはあの子の心臓ね。魔術師っていうのは魔術回路を持った人間だけど、イリアは魔術回路を人間にした子なの。
Someone mentioned before that the author of this likes to make rules just to then break them. This isn't. I don't think he's ever technically broken his own rules, but this is definitely writing around the rule he made. Like, what the fuck?
サーバントが残り一人になった時、あの子自体が聖杯を下ろす器になると思う。
じゃあイリアは琴峰に
連れて行かれたわ。でもセイバーがまだ健在なら道は開かない。琴峰だって器になるイリアをどうにかしようなんて
My
考
bad.
えないはず。
I thought she was done talking. Can only hope so. And Lancer won't be an easy servant to beat. Even if he couldn't defeat Gilgamesh, he might have at least been able to run away. I'll just have to hope he did. He didn't. This isn't the time to tell Tosaka anyway.
分かった。イリアは俺が助け出すから安心しろ。
そう。じゃあ二つ目。琴峰の居場所だけど、きっと竜道寺だと思う。聖杯の降霊場所としてあそこ以上の場所はないもの。教会はもう引き払ってるだろうし、隠れてるとしたらあの寺だから。
琴峰がいるのは竜道寺だな。
She doesn't even seem to have the strength to move her head, but she nods anyway.
じゃあ最後。あなたじゃ綺麗にはかなわない。それでも戦う？
Not question. She's not asking as a friend, but as a mage who truly understands the situation. actually understand what this choice tier is. I don't understand what this choice is supposed to be. Like, what is but still Tosaka means? What does that mean? It doesn't look like anything changed. My mind's made up. My chances of victory are abysmal. Even so.
やつには借りが山ほどある。何があろうと引くことはできない。ことみね綺麗はエミやシローが倒すべき敵だからな。
How do I fast forward?
Shiro, 何か今よからぬことを考えませんでしたか？
いや、別に何も考えてないぞ。
How I skip the choice? There's definitely a button for that. Page, I can say, hold on. Advanced text. Auto mode, stop auto mode, next page, forward, fast forward. Was there not a skip? Just skip? I just do it like this?
戦いは傷が
そうだな。
No, that's just advancing the text.
準備を整えないと。
Okay, well, let's try this then. Oh, it's control on that. There we go. So we do have a skip. Okay. Is there a method?
手はあるのか、トサカ。
Okay, it doesn't look like that was a real choice. I'm going to settle things with Kotomine. Even if I don't have a chance of winning, I can't run away. But if Tosaka has a plan, I'll hear it out, no matter what it is.
残念ながら。けど、選別をあげる。ご信用のものだけど、何もないより役に立つわ。
That was a weird thing. It made me think that there was something that I was missing and I didn't understand what was going on there. But basically, both of those answers was yes, but we can ask if Rin has anything in mind. The sucker reaches behind her and pulls out a single dagger. This is a well-known dagger, perhaps even famous. It is used for rituals rather than for battle. It's a magical wand in the shape of a sword, used to form magic circles and intervene in mystics that have taken shape. The sword Azoth is engraved. The word Azoth is engraved in the jewel on the channel. Azoth. If I Google Azoth, that's just gonna take me to the Wikipedia page. Azoth refers to Mercury, believed by alchemists to be the animating spirit hidden in all matter, making transmutation possible. Also a 75% custom DIY mechanical keyboard by Asus ROG. Thank you, Google. Azoth is a universal remedy for potent solvents sought after the realm of alchemy, akin to alkahest, a distinct alchemical substance. The quest for Azoth was the crux of numerous alchemic endeavors, symbolized by Caduceus. What I'm hearing is magic glue or magic duct tape. His blade isn't as long as the typical dagger, which probably fits Tosaka's preferences anyway. This is the Azoth blade, a sword favored by the famous scholar of mystics who took the world by storm some time ago. It is meant for mages to prove that their training is complete. The Azoth blade is not unlike the sort of gift one receives for getting into college.
どうぞか、これは
見ればわかるでしょう。私の探検よ。宝石に比べれば微々たるものだけど、それでも気が向いた時には魔力を込めてた。レストって叫んで、ありったけの魔力を流し込めば発動するから。
She hands me the dagger. It's surprisingly heavy. Not physically heavy, rather I feel the weight of Tosaka's memories in the dagger.
トサカ、いいのか、これは預かって。
Okay, this was the choice. So was this the choice of whether or not she gives us the actual dagger or not? Okay, well, we're gonna keep on this route because this is probably what I would have chosen. I was just confused on what that other choice was.
いいのよ。綺麗に勝てないって分かって最後まで隠し通したんだから。このまま使わないのも尺だし、あんたが使って。
分かった。遠慮なくもらっとく。正直、武器は大いに越したことはない。
なんだ、分かってるじゃない。なら、もういいかな。いい加減、もう眠くて眠くて。
No, you keep your ass awake. She laughs, embarrassed. Next thing I know, Saber standing behind me waiting to treat Tosaka.
寝ろ寝ろ。朝になったら起こしてやるから。そしたら腹いっぱい飯食わせてやる。
そうする。最後に、これは忠告じゃなくて命令。シロ、やるからには死んでも勝ちなさい。私が起きた時、あんたがくたばってたら許さないから。
It looks like she said everything she wants to say. And so Tosaka drifts off to sleep. She better come back. I'm gonna be pissed if she's dead. She looks well enough, so I feel a little stupid for worrying about her. But then again, I know that's her way of cheering me on, and her words really do invigorate me.
任せとけ、トサカ。
I nod at Tosaka's sleeping form. Everything's all set. All that's left is to spend the next few hours without regret while my wounds heal. Today slowly ticks over into tomorrow. We treat Tosaka's wounds and take her to her room to rest while I make dinner and eat with Saber in silence.
あと少し。
Most of my wounds are healed. We only have about an hour or two left. In the meantime, I'll report to Kiritsugu. Have a strategy meeting. Do we need a strategy meeting? Let's just hang out with Saber. I'm sure no matter what strategy we could possibly come up with, it'll end up in it won't work. How should I spend those remaining hours? I thought a lot about it, but wound up here in the end.
ここは変わりませんね。今の穏やかさもいいのですが、やはり私にはこちらの方が合っている。
そうだな。セイバーは騎士のくせに正座好きだし、竹刀を持つ姿も様になってたし、一度ぐらい防具をつけて試合をしてもよかったかも。
That would have been funny.
防具をつけてですか？それなら言ってくれればよかったのに。私は甲冑を着込みますから、四郎が鎧を着るだけで模擬戦はできました。そうですね。本当にそうすればよかった。
Aw.
もっと早く言ってくれたら、四郎と本気で打ち合えたのに。
Saber's so cute when she pouts like that. Cute as she is, her actual words are pretty terrifying.
本気でって、それこそ本気か、セイバー。まともに打ち合ったら1週間は寝たきりになるぞ、俺。
いいえ、そのようなことは決して。四郎は自分を過小評価しています。この数日であなたは本当に成長した。今の四郎なら私から一本取ることも夢ではありません。
え、本当
Even if she's only flattering me, I'm delighted. How can I not respect Saber when it comes to swordsmanship? Being able to land a hit on my mentor is like proof of my growing skill.
本当に本当か？そのうまく今日つけばセイバーから一本取れる。
はい。四郎は強くなりました。それは誇っていいことですし、私もたまらなく嬉しいです。
I can tell she's being honest as she smiles at me. When I see her face like that, my determination starts to waver. Afterwards, we won't be able to come back. If only we could just run away instead of facing the battle we had such a slim chance of actually winning.
シロ、どうしたのです？急に黙り込んで。やはり傷が痛むのですか？それでしたら部屋で休んで。
いや、もう大丈夫だ。痛むところなんてない。
I push my hesitation aside. I can't run away. This isn't how I want to spend my final moments with Saber.
なあ、セイバー。せっかく道場に来たんだから軽く手合わせしないか。真剣じゃなくて遊ぶくらいの気持ちで軽く。
I bury my feelings and try to put on a strong face as I can.
いいでしょう。なら、私は剣道ではなく自己流で交えさせていただきます。シロも自由に思うままに剣を振るってください。
Give me 1 second, chat. My OBS just disconnected for a moment. Just, hold on. It did that last time too. I wonder if this new update's fucking everything up. All right. Press 1 if you can hear me. Okay. My OBS disconnected for some reason. I don't know why that happened, but it did. Anyway. I think this just goes to show you, unless your shit is just broken, do not update anything. Because I updated OBS and now OBS is like, oh, you disconnected. Oh, I wonder what happened. Oh, did not have a problem before now. Back, refresh. It's all good now. Do me a favor, press 2 when you hear this. I want to see how bad the delay is. That wasn't that bad. That was like a couple seconds. All right. I don't know why that happened. That was weird. You must have understood what I had in mind. Fitting blows with a sword rather than words suits us better. For a short while, we forget about everything and just feel our bamboo swords whack at each other. I don't understand how Saber's fighting with a Western fighting style with a bamboo sword. The moon hangs high in the sky. That's a signifier for something. The clouds are finally cleared at the black of, and the black of night is giving way to indigo. It will soon be dawn. The long night is about to end. It will be the last one. During the night, Saber and I travel to our final destination.
Shiro, これは
I hear the tension in Saber's voice. She's not the only one. As I quietly nod, I feel cold sweat trickling down my neck. The mountain feels like a living thing. Chills run down my spine, stifling pressure assails me with every step I take. The air is thick and damp.
マナの密度が高い。10年前と同じです。おそらく上ではもう。
The summoning of the Holy Grail has begun. Maybe it's even over by now. Either way, Gilgamesh has probably defeated Lancer.
確認するぞ、セイバー。上に着いたら、あとは戦うだけだ。セイバーはギルガメッシュの相手を頼む。俺はマスター、コトミネを撃つ。
I don't know if killing Kotomine will do anything.
お互いの戦いには手を出さない。どちらかが相手を倒せば、それで終わりだ。
ええ、今回だけは私は自分の戦いに専念します。それに、コトミネはあなたが倒すべき敵だ。
そうだな。よし、任せとけ。セイバーの方こそ、あんな奴にやられるんじゃないぞ。
I can't imagine that Gilgamesh has, because Gilgamesh has all the prototypes to all the noble phantasms. I can't imagine that he has the prototype to the sheath, because the sheath is its own thing, yeah? I mean, it's not to say he doesn't have it, but like I can't imagine he does.
はい。誇りにかけて彼には負けるわけにはいかない。サーバントとしてではなく、英霊としてかの王に膝を屈することはできません。
Technically, you are not a heroic spirit. There is no longer hesitation or worry in her voice. I don't need to say anything else to her. We will head to battle and determine the final master of this war. But if, in the process, if one of us dies, the survivor will have to kill their opponent. Even if I'm defeated, as long as Saber defeats Gilgamesh, Kotomine won't get his hands on the Holy Grail. At the same time, if Saber is defeated but I defeat Kotomine, Gilgamesh can't stay manifested. So we don't have to cover it for each other. This battle is now each of ours alone. Before that happens, just want to look at the flowchart one last time. And so we climb the stone steps. The closer we get to the temple gate, the denser the air gets. The red phosphorescent I almost said it right the first time. The red phosphorescence dances in the wind, and the whole place is too brightly lit for nighttime. The air is heavy with death. It reminds me of the fire 10 years ago. But it's different. Bound up in the red light, I spy something that looks like it's going to ooze out over the temple itself. It's out past the building. A glistening blackness like mucus spreads over the vivid red. The mud spreads like oil over the clear ground.
来たか。待ちわびたぞ、セイバー。
Gilgamesh stands there, hollowed by the vivid red glow. He pays no mind to the blood-red glow on the death-shrouded blackness. The servant, armored in gold, awaits in the middle of the temple grounds for Saber and Saber alone.
頃合いも良い。 聖杯もようやく重い腰を上げ、穴が開いたところだ。この呪いこそが聖杯の中。我らサーバントをこの世に留める第三要素。10年前、お前が俺に浴びせたものだ。
Gilgamesh has eyes only for Saber. Saber is similarly focused on him. She steps forward and points her sword at the knight in front of her.
いい気概だ。俺には勝てないと知った上でなおその闘志。宴の終わりを飾るにふさわしいが、邪魔はいらぬ。そこの雑種、琴峰に用があるのなら早々に消えろ。奴は祭壇で貴様を待っている。
That's nice of him. Kotomin is waiting. I glance at Saber. She gives me a slight nod, her eyes still on Gilgamesh. As I leave, I feel her wishing me luck. I turn around. My opponent is elsewhere, behind me. As I run, I hear the sound of Saber's deadly battle beginning. Deep in the grounds, behind Ryudo Temple's main building is a large lake. It's been untouched for a long time, making it seem sacred, like it's inhabited by a dragon god. Like me. The lake's clear, blue water is so pure and clean, with not a trace of cloudiness. At least, that was true until yesterday. The lake is far from pure now. Red phosphorescence spreads out before me. It is a sea of dark, murky tar. And... was it necessary to make her naked? A hollow chasm yawns in midair. The body of a young girl floating near in offering. I've been trying to remain calm all this time, but this sight drives me over the edge. I stop and glare at the enemy. The ends of his lips curl into a smile, and he spreads his arms in greeting. Our final battle will be fought here. This will be the summoning altar in this Holy Grail war. I glare at Kotomine. We're about 10 meters apart. As soon as I take another step, the battle will begin. Once the battle starts, my only option is to rush him and stab him in the chest. Damn, they are fighting, if it's still this loud. But before that, I need to do something about Ilya. As long as her life lasts, then Ilya is still alive.
そうか。お前に下ろす気がないってんなら、力ずくで下ろすだけだ。お前の願い、その黒い泥を今すぐに止めてやる。
ほう、なるほど。お前にはこれが私の望みに見えるわけか。さすがは規律の息子だな。よもや2代にわたって思い違いを続けるとは。聖杯を理解し得ぬ者にわざわざ解いてやる真理はない。その思い違いを抱いたまま、最後のマスターとして責務を果たすがいい。
What? I don't know what his wish is, but I can't imagine that he's actually a bad person. Well, in quotation marks, bad person. He maybe like net neutral bad person. Not a bad person, net neutral. He did bad things, but for a good reason, I guess. I don't know. I can't imagine that his end goal is to fuck everything up. Although he did say that he was looking for entertainment, but the way that he sounded, especially at the beginning of the game, was that he sounded like he did not mean for the fire that happened to happen. He actually still sounds like that. So I don't think he's intending. I don't think he means for anything wholly negative to happen. There's only about 10 meters between him and me, but I jump to the side, maintaining that distance. Rather than acting on my desire to kill him, my instincts kick in to help me avoid death. I slip sideways and roll onto the ground. I go tumbling across the ground, scrambling to look up. I glance back at where I'd just been running. The ground is on fire. The dark mud spreading over the lake is steaming. It's like a dark carpet. The mud coils and lunges at me, snapping like a whip. It leaves a searing welt on the ground.
言い忘れていたが、すでにお前は私の射程に入っている。加えてこれは生き物に敏感でな。
Gross.
動き回るのは勝手だが、不用意に動くと死ぬぞ。
I leap out of the way of the black mud as it strikes me once again. The hell with darting around blindly. This bastard's intent on killing me. I reposition myself, keeping an eye on the lake. I'm no closer to Kotomine. Looks like he's gonna keep me 10 meters away. The muddy tentacle seems to be able to stretch endlessly. It follows no matter how far I retreat. It's not the only one.
やる気か。それは喜ばしい。このまま立ち去るのなら殺しようがなかったが、お前本人が争うのであれば問題はない。
See, that's a weird statement. Is his intent not to kill me the whole entire time?
何しろこれでも神に仕える身だ。助けを求める者を殺めるわけにもいかなくてな。
I think he's just weird. The tentacle twists towards me. It seems to me that he intends, why would he not want to kill me just in general? That's a weird statement. But maybe he just means he doesn't want to kill for the sake of killing. He wants to kill us in a fight, I guess. I don't know. That's a weird statement. He's written strangely. He's written in a really ambiguous sense. So it's really hard to pin him down on what his motivations are. It looms over the lake, its sickle-shaped head like a dark serpent. I bite my lip. I'm in about the worst possible situation. More and more the tentacles emerge from the lake. I'm not sure how much longer I can even survive, to say nothing of getting near Kotomine.
勝機がないのは当然だ。お前の生きた年数と私の生きた年数では大きく開きがある。何かで掛け算でもしない限り埋められる差ではあるまい。
The priest raises his hands. He stares at the heavens like a conductor leading an orchestra.
命をかけろ。あるいはこの身に届くかもしれん。
The serpents surge forward. I try to kick away the mud clinging to my ankles. My clothes are burnt and my skin is exposed. I jump away from the lunging tentacle. I can't feel my mud-coated right ankle, and I wasn't entirely sure I even still had my right leg until I used it to leap away. I check my body while I roll. Ankle, okay. Yeah, it's still there. I just can't feel it. It's more or less intact. I can still probably run. I jump in another direction to avoid the mud's relentless attacks. Besides me, I hear splash. The scent of burning earth wakes my dizzy head, and I push myself back to my feet. A burning sensation sears its way down my back. I shake it off and jump to closest clear ground. The mud's pursuit relents. I can no longer see any of the black mud that surrounded me. I bite my lip. I dodged and ran all over the place, but in the end, I'm right back here. I calm my breathing and look up at him to at least show he hasn't broken my spirit. Kotomine has not moved at all. He's just watching me running around. No matter how many deep breaths I take, my heart won't stop pounding. It's warning me that it's at its limit. It needs to rest. My body is ready to burst if I don't rest. That's how rapidly it's thumping my chest. It's all but jumping out of my mouth at this point. I can't do anything. I can't get near Kotomine and I can't stop the black mud. There's not enough time for me to hold back about using projection. It's my only hope. If there's no way forward, I just have to project Saber's sword again. You should be able to cut through the black mud and give me a chance to rush Kotomine.
なんだそれで終わりか諦めたのならそうと言え
The moment he speaks, a tidal wave of mud crashes over me. I look up just in time to dodge. The mud itself isn't bad. It's slow compared to Saber strikes when it can be sparred, and it doesn't change direction so it's easy to dodge. But that only applies when there's only one tentacle. I can't handle multiple attacks at once, or those that strike from behind as soon as I've dodged another. As a result, I can only move around, and still, mud slowly covers me. There's no time to rest. I'm not going to be able to use my projection. Projection requires me to form an image of a weapon from the very beginning, so I need at least a full minute of concentration. If I give Kotomine an open like that, the only thing left to me will be smoking bones. Everywhere the mud touches me, I go numb. At least it's not painful, but if the mud covers my entire body, I might not even know whether I'm dead or alive. If that happens, I'm a goner. I'd melt away, bones and all. I can only run. If I'm going to have any chance of getting near, I might have to do something about this mud. What the fuck just happened? Can't believe it. I picked now of all times to trip. Kotomine stares down at me as if I were a piece of trash. He points a finger at me and several snakes' heads rear up from the lake. Get up. I try to get up, but fall again. I fall. I fall. The snakes pursue me. But I still fall. Why? 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 Black mud splashes over the back of my neck. Why? Now that I look closer, my right leg is entirely black. So, my entire body is entirely black. What's your excuse? Black mud rains down on me. Like a torrential downpour, it engulfs my entire body, and all I can do is await the oncoming tide of despair. Oh, cool. So the correct thing was to hang out with Saber. Or was to talk strategy with Saber. Got it. That was a long dead end. Hello, Dizzy.
ここぞという時に武器がない。
そんなあなたを助けるタイガー道場開幕です。さて、勝敗とは戦いを始める前に決定しているっていうのが一般論よね。はい、その心は弟子1号。
何の策も武器もなしに戦いに挑んじゃダメってことかな。
うん。敵は金に明かして最強部隊を揃えている反則サーバントなら、こっちも一つぐらいは逆転可能な武器を用意しておくべきです。
Well, we have a weapon.
じゃあタイが決戦前夜からやり直してなんか新しい武装を用意しろっていうの？そんな一朝一夕で何ができるっていうのよ。
これができるのだ。セーバーちゃんの宝具はもともと3つ。その最後の1つを用意してあげれば、あとはなんとかなるってもんよ。
そっか、返せばいいんだね。
カエサルのものはカエサルへ。なくすには惜しいものだったけど、やっぱり拾い物は持ち主に返さないとね。
ほら、大河にしてはいいこと言うのね。腐っても学校の先生ってところかしら。
That's fucked up.
あっはっはっは。褒めて褒めて。
はいはい。それじゃ大河がいい気分のうちに嬉しいお知らせをしちゃいます。本編の端っこでつつましく続いていたこのコーナーだけど、なんと今回で最終回。次回からは装いも新たにタイガー道場第2部タイガ夫妻1億円編が始まるよ。次は舞台を私の後ろに移して、立ち絵も音楽も発売ハードも一新。制作費も倍になって、おまけコーナーとは思えない充実ぶりになるんだから。
That's funny. Unless we're paying for that debt.
なんか重ねてめでたいな。よくわからないけど、ウォーズからメタルスに CG が変わるようなものかしらね。
そうっす師匠。次からはこんないかにもやっつけ仕事の立ち絵から解放されるのです。おっす。
素晴らしい。そうと決まればさっさとこんな道場ともおさらばしましょう。
じゃあみんな、心機一転したタイガー道場で待ってるよ。
Okay, I'm gonna go do the other thingy, because the other thingy is also a bad end. But, you know, content. Report to Kiritsugu. This might be my last time. 10 years ago, I was a lone survivor of a terrible fire, and if I'm going to succeed Kiritsugu, who destroyed the Holy Grail, I should at least report that to him.
じいさんの夢は、俺が。
The young boy said those words so long ago. Back then, I didn't even understand the feelings the man left behind, nor did I understand what he wanted to achieve. After 10 years, the thing I kept striving for, the reason I was the only survivor, is about to be revealed itself.
今までありがとう。行ってくるよ、親父。
My fear and hesitation fade. We have no chance of winning. But if I'm going to call myself Shido Amiya, I need to go into this with my head held high. Is that it? Sure, yeah. Are you gonna tell me a different thing? Is this the same thing? Okay, that was the same thing. There we go. The ending was technically the same. We just got to talk to Kiritsugu. I don't know why they bother with, like, I said this before, but I don't know why they bother with making decisions that are like, they lead you to bad ends when they're very obviously the wrong answer. Like, that was a very long-winded, like, you did the wrong thing. But why even have something that tells you did the wrong thing aside from flavor context? And the reason why I'm complaining about it at this exact moment is because the thing with Kiritsugu was like, all right, Dad, I'm going to go do a thing. And then we die. So I don't know. It felt weird. The spend time with Saber thing, you would think that would open like a CG or something, but it didn't do that either. It's very weird that they plan on doing stuff like that. Let me write this last one down. The game is formatted nicely enough though that because I saw the scene already, it just lets me skip it, which is amazing. That's right. There's only one thing we can do. We've always done it this way, so we should do it the same right to the end. Did we always do it this way? It's not romantic and it's not elegant, but sitting across from each other and coming up with a plan of action suits me and Saber best. I think you did that exactly once. Maybe I'm misremembering.
シロ、対策を練るのはいいのですが、何もここでなくとも良いのではないですか？
いや、ここじゃないと調子が出ない。いいから中に入ろう。考えなしってわけじゃないんだ。
Alright, some of you came back from ads. Basically what happened is that we went to go pray and say goodbye to Kiritsugu. And we did that. It took literally like 2 screens and we came back here. So now we're doing the actual thing that the game wants us to do, which is come up with the plan.
ああ。シロがそういうのでしたら従いますが。
Saber reluctantly follows me into the shed. Okay, now there's a reason I had Saber go inside the shed. Right now, we have neither a plan nor the means to defeat Gilgamesh. So it goes without saying that we need something extra. So, return the sheath to Saber? I would suggest we do that, right? I should return the sheath to its rightful owner. I don't know if it'll work, but I have to try. But Saber did manage to put her hand into my body to check whether the sheath was there. So it was probably not impossible to extract. No. The Tiger Dojo thing told us to look for a weapon, but like, and a plan. But technically we have the weapon if we're counting the thing that Rin gave us. So I don't know if this counts.
本気だよ。もともとあれはセイバーのものだろ。ならセイバーに返すのは当然だし、この鞘があればあいつにだって勝てるかもしれない。
確かに鞘が戻れば私の魔力も上がります。ですが、それでもギルガメッシュに勝てる保証はありません。それに、鞘を摘出してしまったら、シロはどうするのです。鞘を取ってしまえば、もう。
Well, according to that dead end, that doesn't matter. I'll no longer heal so rapidly from whatever injury I might sustain. But that's normal. I've relied on this regeneration too much. Nobody should be immortal. I shouldn't keep it anymore.
鞘を取ってくれ、セイバー。これは俺たちが勝つための。
This is now convincing me that this is the bad end. This is a bad end, and for the sake of not wasting my time, and I know people are going to be mad at me for skipping this, but I want to see what's actually going on here. Okay, look for a weapon. Let's prepare something we didn't have before, a new weapon. I'm sure Saber would benefit from a weapon other than Excalibur, and the more weapons I have, the better.
シロ、考えとは何ですか？
ああ、なんとか手持ちの武器を増やそうと思って。ここ、もともとは親父の倉庫なんだ。もしかしたら、探せば役立つものが見つかるかもしれない。
For people who don't know me, I have a really strong pet peeve about wasting time, and that felt like I was wasting time.
役に立つものですか。
Okay, I was not. That was actually the correct thing to do. Well, I mean, since we're doing the bad ends anyway, it just comes back here.
そうですね。キリツグが使っていた魔術品が残っていれば、確かにシロの力になります。彼の霊装は銃でした。あれならシロでもすぐに扱えるはずです。
Mystic code is a tool or armament mage's use of a... Okay, alright. You know what? Fine. Well, here's what we'll do. Since this loop is closed, and this one most obviously leads back to right here, what we'll do is that we'll get whatever flavor text is here, come back, get this flavor text, and then we'll come back. Easy. Sound good? All right. According to Saber, my old man's was a pistol.
物騒なものだけど、それぐらいの方が頼もしいか。
はい。私は下を探しますから、白は天井裏を。あるとすれば、魔力を抑える封印がなされているはずです。魔力を感知するのではなく、しらみつぶしに荷物を調べてください。
ないな、セイバー。
ありませんね。銃はおろか、覚書の一枚すらありません。
まあ、そうだよな。親父がそんなの残してたら、とっくに見つけ出してる。
You're defeated. Well, it didn't hurt to try, and we just have to do our best with what we have, like we planned from the start. Alright, strengthen Saber. Let's see what this does. I'm going to strengthen Saber right here where I was summoned her. I'm not sure I can do that, but it's worth trying. Like, that's another design flaw of fucking,
That's
another flaw of, like, visual novels with dead ends, with bad ends, is that if it doesn't do anything, now your player is paranoid that they're wasting time going into a dead end. But now that I have the layout set up.
人間、しかも自分以外の人体に魔力を通すのがどれほど難しいかは知っている。けど、今はこれしか思いつかない。俺にできることはセイバーを強くすることだけだから。
That's right. Even if I try making a new weapon with projection, I won't be able to make anything stronger than Excalibur. With Gilgamesh's noble phantasm overwhelming the sacred sword, there's no point in giving Saber a new weapon. So there's no other option but to make Saber herself stronger.
成功率は低いし、セイバーには不快な思いをさせると思う。それでも、この方法にかけてみたいんだ。頼む。強化なんて、セイバーを物みたいに扱うことを、今だけは許してくれ。
何を言うのです。私は不快な思いなどしません。シローがそう言ってくれるのなら、喜んでこの身を差し出しましょう。
Saber takes my hand and agrees to my plan.
マスターを信頼しています。私の耐魔力を一時的に弱めますから、その間にシローの魔術を流してください。
Saber entrusts her body to me while she still holds my hand.
少しだけ我慢してくれ、セイバー。
See, don't you think this will make like a CGI? Or a CG? It's not a CGI. I concentrate on and read Saber's body, her blueprint. I have less than 10% chance of success. I cast off my indecisiveness and activate the strengthening magecraft use with unprecedented clarity. The magecraft spell ends. I used almost all of my remaining magical energy to strengthen Saber.
どうかな、セイバー。なんか手応えとかあるか？ちゃんと魔力は通ったから。強くなってるとは思う。
シローにも成否はわからないのですか？その外見的に鋭さが増したとか破壊力が向上したとか伝わっていませんか？
いや、よくわからない。強化って言っても結局試してみるまではわからないから、魔力が通ったところであとは強化したもので結果を出すしかないっていうか。
ああ、なるほど。強化された木刀が強くなったぞと宣言することはありませんし、外見も変わらないのですよね。恥ずかしながら私も実感が持てないというか、正直以前とあまり変化はありません。
そうか、無駄な時間を取らせたのかな、俺。い
いいえ、決して無駄ではありません。
四郎の魔術は正しく作用しました。体は強くならずとも、今は心が温かい。
See, that's adorable.
この熱がある限り、私は決して倒れません。四郎は私を強くしてくれました。
That's really fucking cute. Saber has accepted my magecraft. She's the one who made me stronger. Her words banished my fear and hesitation. See, if you didn't know better, you thought you'd do the right thing here. Saber isn't the only one feeling more warmth in her heart. As long as I hold on to this feeling, I won't be afraid to fight. Alright, for real this time. Come on, right? I'd like to write down with my pen. Jesus Christ. Alright. Oops, not that. I did not mean to do that. Jesus. There we go.
Is
it this to skip pages? Okay. Saber bites her lip, not answering. I'm not sure how long this moment stretches out between us. The clouds in the sky drift by as if, and as the moonlight starts to shine through the window.
わかりました、マスター。あなたの心をお借りします。
Saber nods. Her hesitation is gone.
それでは始めます。準備はいいですか、シロ。
いいぞ。遠慮なく始めてくれ。
Saber begins. Her hand presses against my chest and sinks in. My job here is simple. The process of extracting the sheath is similar to projection. The sacred sword's sheath is integrated itself throughout my body. I just have to collect all the dispersed bits of it and reform them into a sheath. This is all just my impression of what's going on, though. I might say I'm reforming it into a sheath, but I'm just gathering the waves from magical energy. Saber is the one who will give it shape. She, the original owner, forms the shapeless bundle of magic energy into the sheath itself. I'm just helping her. It's like... Batra, can you grab that guy? It's like making something from nothing. The scattered pieces of the sacred sword sheath are reproduced with precision and painstaking care, without a single error. My body grows hot. Projection is way beyond my means. It eats away at my body every time I use it. It destroys my nerves, burns my skin, and even has the power to cripple my brain. It's the only weapon I have, and it can be the one thing that might help Saber. I think back to when I saw her in my dreams. The golden sheath fit for the king of knights to carry into battle. The legendary sheath that protected its owner and led her to so many victories. I reproduced it vividly, without deviation, and as beautiful as it ever was. And no matter the end awaiting us, I will never forget this. I will engrave the image in my mind. I hear Saber's voice. I feel something that was within me from the longest time escape from my body.
すごい。見事です、シロ。ここまで完璧に戻せるなんて他の誰にもできません。
It must have come out great, as Saber is able to is so elated For a second, I thought they like changed the spelling of her name. Saber is so elated, it surprises me. My body's still so searing hot that I just topple face first onto the ground.
シロ、すごい汗です。今拭くものを持ってきます。
Saber hurries back to the house. As I listen to her footsteps, I take a deep breath. I think that turned out great. It was perfect. I don't think anything else I project will ever turn out so perfect.
じゃあな。今までありがとう。
I say that to every time I leave a house. I bid farewell to but that probably wasn't clear. Anytime I move away from a house, I thank the house for protecting. I bid farewell to the thing that has been part of my life, part of me for so long. The golden sheep that protected her. I will never ever forget it. Though it's left my body, its form has been forever engraved into my heart. The moon hangs in the night sky. The clouds have finally cleared and the black of night is giving way to indigo. It will be dawn soon. The long night is about to end. Also, that scene was just as long as the bad end scenes. It will be the last one. During the night, Saber and I travel to our final destination.
シロ、これは。
Is this the same as all the other ones? This is literally the same as all the other ones.
マナの密度が高い。10年前と同じです。おそらく。
確認するぞ、セイバー。上に着いたら、あとは戦うだけだ。セイバーはギルガメッシュの相手を頼む。俺はお互いの戦いには手を出さない。どちらかが相手を倒せば。
ええ。今回だけは私。
そうだな。よし、任せとけ。セイバーの方こそ、あんな奴にやられるんじゃないぞ。
はい。誇りにかけて、彼には負けるわけにはいかない。サーバントとしてではなく、英霊として、かの王に膝を屈することはできません。
There's no longer hesitation or worry in our voice. I don't need to say anything else to her. We will head to battle and determine the final master in this war. But if, in the process, one of us dies and the survivor just has to kill their opponent. Even if I'm defeated, as long as Saber defeats Gilgamesh, Kodomina won't get his hands on the Holy Grail. Is this different? That scene looked like it was going to change into something different, but I guess not. At the same time, if Saber is defeated but I defeat Kotomine, Gilgamesh can't stay manifested. So we don't have to cover for each other. This battle is now each of ours alone. So we climb the stone steps. The closer we get to the temple gate, the denser the air gets. Sweat trickles down my back. An ominous premonition creeps over me. At the top of the stone staircase, our greatest enemies await us. But I don't really care about that. We go up the stairs, closer and closer to the temple gate. Everything will be over. No matter who wins this battle, Saber will disappear. The endless but fleeting days of fighting will finally be over, and Saber will disappear from this world. She'll return to her time where she belongs. And I can't say I don't have any regrets. I'm going to lose Saber. I'm going to lose the person I vowed to protect, the person I most want to be happy. Even now, I don't know just how painful that will be. For now, we're still walking together. I can feel her presence. I'm not prepared to lose her. Even if I knew a few days before. Even if, from the moment we met, I knew we would eventually part ways. Thinking back, we made so many memories. We walked together some nights, fought together some nights. At first, I did everything I could to prevent Saber, a girl from fighting. She also kicked my ass in the dojo. I also slept in the shed because I was too embarrassed to sleep in a room right next to hers. We ate lunch together. Saber liked baths, she liked my cooking, liked the clothes Tosaka brought her, and she had incoherent conversations with Fujini. She pushed herself, shouldered all her burdens on herself, and finally collapsed, and then we explored the depths of our hearts in the ruins. Things took a turn after that. I couldn't stop thinking about Saber. My purpose for fighting changed, and I realized I loved her. How can I lose someone like that? Saber doesn't say anything. Can't think of anything to say either. Once we've climbed the stairs and reached the top, there'll be nothing for us to talk about. A little while later, I'll lose Saber and have to say goodbye. But this is the only time we have to say goodbye. We climb the stairs. If I want to avoid saying goodbye, I just have to chatter about insignificant stuff like before. For example, let's go to town when we go home. What should we eat for breakfast tomorrow? Insignificant stuff. Can't even seem to do that though. Because whatever I say, those could end up being our last words. A clear end. Neither Saber nor I could say a clear goodbye. And now we're at the temple gate. This is my last chance. If we proceed, it'll all be over. But if we go back, maybe I can think of something that would stop me from losing her.
Saber.
I stop and turn to Saber. She's the same as ever. Her face is composed, but her eyes seem tense, like she's trying to hold something in. The moment I see those eyes, I'm assailed by the temptation of all sides. Temptation to run away. Temptation to turn back so I don't lose her. Temptation to tell her what I really want, assuring me she'll accept me. Accept? What? My resolve wavers. The temptations are begging, itching to be voiced. I tell him.
行こう。これが最後の戦いだ。
I tell her just like usual as her master. Saber nods silently. I see the strength in her eyes, full of resolve as they always are. I won't make any requests. The same way she believes in me, I'm going to believe I made the right choice. I cross the threshold of the temple gate. There's no turning back now. I can't say anything, not that I can say what I really wanted to anyway. But I want to at least believe that this frustrated silence managed to convey my feelings. We finished climbing the long stone steps. This is our final memory of our time together here on this earth. The summit is bathed in a crimson glow. Wind whips at my face, seeming to come from the red light somewhere at the rear of the temple grounds. The air is heavy with death. It reminds me of that fire 10 years ago. But it's different. Bound up in red light, I spy something that looks like it's going to ooze out over the temple itself. It's out. It's the building. A glistening blackness, like mucus, spreads over the vivid red. The mud spreads like oil over the clay ground. It oozes over the ground, contaminating it, cooking everything it touches. It's like a visible curse. Even a mage like me, still in training as I am, understands that the stuff only acts on human psyche, will only swallow human bodies.
来たか。待ちわびたぞ、セイバー。
Gilgamesh stands there, hollowed by the vivid red glow. He pays no mind to the blood-red glow of the death-shrouded blackness. A servant armed in gold awaits in the middle of the temple grounds for Saber and Saber alone.
頃合いも良い。聖杯もようやく重い腰を上げ、穴が開いたところだ。この呪いこそが聖杯の中。我らサーバントをこの世に留める第三要素。10年前、お前が俺に浴びせたものだ。
Gilgamesh has eyes only for Saber. Saber is similarly focused on him. She steps forward and points her sword at the knight in front of her.
ギルガメッシュ、あなたの目的は何だ？
Oh, she didn't ask that last time.
あの呪い、聖杯と偽っていたものを使って何を望む？
望みなどないと言っただろう。琴峰が聖杯をどう扱おうと俺は知らん。今のところ俺の関心はお前だけだ。
As if to answer, the Golden Knight raises one arm. At the same time, a shimmering haze forms behind him. The king's treasure, hundreds of noble phantasms are ready to like haze, like in that haze, like bullets loaded into a gun.
ようやくこの時が来たか。今までずーっと考えていたぞ、セイバー。嫌がるお前をどう組み伏せ、あれを飲ませるか。泣きむせぶ顔を踏みつけ、その体を染め抜くほどの泥を飲ませ、もだえ死ぬに耐えきれず俺の足元にすがりつく。その汚れ切った姿をな。
What a freak.
よく言った。ならば、その身が同じ末路をたどろうと異論はないな、英雄王。
She takes another step. Saber walks right into the range of all the noble phantasms. This isn't a battle I can help with. No ordinary human can step into the battle between Saber and Gilgamesh.
それでこそセイバーよ。俺には勝てないと知った上でなおその気概。宴の終わりを飾るにふさわしいが。邪魔はいらぬ。そこの雑種。琴峰に用があるのなら早々に消えろ。奴は祭壇で貴様を待っている。
Thanks. Kotomine is waiting. I glance at Saber. She gives a slight nod, her eyes still on Gilgamesh. As I leave, I feel her wishing me luck. I turn around. My opponent is elsewhere. Behind me. As I run, I hear the sound of Saber's deadly battle beginning. Deep in the grounds, behind Rito Temple's main building is a large lake. It's been untouched for a long time, making it seem safe. Alright, I'm skipping this because we know what happens here. Ooh. At least that was true until yesterday. Okay, this is different. A hollow chasm yawns in midair, the body of a young girl floating near the offering. This is the same, it's just presented differently. I've been trying to remain calm all this time, but the sight drives me over the edge. I stop and glare at the enemy. The ends of his lips curl into a smile, and he spreads his arms in a greeting. Yes, yes. Our final battle will be fought here. This will be the summoning altar for the Holy Grail. Okay, now it's the same scene. I don't know what kind of mage Kotomine is, but he likely uses projectile weapons like Tosaka. On the other hand, my only option is to get close and punch him in the face. Even with Tosaka's dagger concealed behind me, I still need to get close. Once the battle starts, my only option is to rush him and stab him in the chest. But before that, I need to do something about Ilya.
Oh, 聞こえなかったのか。イリアを下ろせって言ったんだ。いい年して。子供をいじめて何が楽しい。
気持ちはわかるが、それはできない相談だな。聖杯は現れたが、その穴は未だ不安定だ。接点である彼女には命の続く限り耐えてもらわねば、私の願いは叶わない。
As long as her life lasts, that means Ilya is still alive.
そうか。お前に下ろす気がないってんなら、力ずくで下ろすだけだ。お前の願い、その黒い泥を今すぐに止めてやる。
ほう、なるほど。お前にはこれが私の望みに見えるわけか。さすがはキリツグの息子だな。よもや2代にわたって思い違いを続けるとは。 この泥は私の手によるものではない。これは聖杯よりあふれる力、本来は万能であるはずの無色の力だ。それを黒く染めるなど人の力ではできん。この聖杯はな、初めからこうなのだ。開けてしまえば最後、際限なく溢れ出し最悪を巻き起こす。それがこの聖杯の正体だ。この中にはあらゆる悪性、人の世を分け隔てなく呪うものが詰まっている。それを操ることなど誰にもできん。
What is he talking about? That's true. He didn't become a master because he had a wish to fulfill, but instead he's just doing it so he can open this thing?
ことみね。お前の望みは何だ?
I grind my teeth and glare at him. He smiles wider.
そうだな。強いて言うならば娯楽だよ。
It's such a simple answer.
だって。
わからないのか。例えば音楽だ。歌を楽しいと思うのはなぜだと思う、エミヤシロ。
なんだってそんな。
では本はどうだ。物語が人を引きつけるのはなぜだと思う。
Why? I've never thought about that sort of thing before.
そう、考えるまでもない。あらゆる娯楽、人間を喜ばせるもの、それらが楽しいのは単に人間が作ったものだからだ。よいか。あらゆる創造物は人間の内より生じるもの。つまるところ、この世で最も愉快なものとは人間に他ならない。むき出しの人間こそが最高の娯楽となる。それに比べれば彼らが生み出す娯楽など二次的なものだ。そう、音楽も物語も愛憎も憐憫も信頼も裏切りも道徳も背徳も幻想も真実も全て抱きすべき不純物に過ぎん。そのようなもの、所詮は残りかすに過ぎぬ二流の娯楽。私が楽しみたいのは人間そのものでな。そのような余分なものなどもはや口に合わん。そのためには営みなどという贅肉はそぎ落とさなければならない。走馬灯というものがあるだろう。それと同じだ。人間は死の瞬間にのみ価値がある。生存という助走距離を持って高く飛び、空に届き尊く輝くもの、その瞬きこそが私の望みだ。それがお前の求めた質問の答えだ。お前たちが平穏を糧にするように、この身は星の光を食べて生きている。
Even if priest gives such a sermon with his arms spread wide, it's strange to say the least. The chill runs down my back, but not from what he said. Seeing him like that, talking about human beings and seemingly somehow sacred, is what's giving me chills. Before he explains it, what I'm understanding is that he either wants death or he wants his own death.
10年前の火災は悪くなかった。小規模ではあったが、通常ではありえない刺激に満ちていたからな。そう、私が望むものなどその程度だ。あのような地獄にこそ魂の炸裂、人における最高のきらめきがある。それはお前自身も体験したことではないかな、エミヤシロ。
We gotta put this dude down.
どうだ、無念のまま朽ちる人間の叫びは胸に迫るものがあっただろう。
Bullshit. That day. How could he ever describe that hell of a day like that?
理解してくれたか。いびつな形ではあるが、私ほど人間を愛している者はいない。
System says menace good is received for 20 months, with message in finer, 3 menacing in finer, 3 menacing in finer, 3 menacing. Sorry, I don't really know what to say.
What the fuck does she... The fuck does she call you, B-Man? So how you doing, man? What's good? What's poppin'? How you doing, B-Man? B-Man! The fuck did Pixie call you? Also, he said, warped as it though it may be, he's the only one who who loves humans. No one loves humans more than he does. The fact that he considered it warped means he knows that he's wrong. She called me the man is good. The man is good. The man do be good. How you doing? How's the man's? The priest smiles, pleased with himself. Is he saying that he thinks all those people dying helplessly was a wonderful, beautiful thing? I focus on my feet. Every muscle in my leg tenses, ready to break into a sprint. I search for it as fast as I can. He's a little less than 10 meters away. If I hit straight at him, I throw myself sideways. Chilling King, how are you? I'm ready to finish the main part of the game. We still have side routes to do, but this will be the end of the main game. Do you know anything about Fate, B-Man? I want to just kill him, but my instincts kick in, saving me from death. I go tumbling across the ground, scrambling to look up. I glance back at where I was just been running. The ground is on fire. The dark mud spreading over the lake is steaming. It's like a dark carpet. The mud coils and lunges at me, snapping like a whip. It leaves a searing welt on the ground. No, the franchise seems too large and intimidating to get into, to be honest. Bitch, you watch JoJo. What the fuck are you talking about? Have you also seen One Piece? Because that was the same thing. Like, just take it one part of it. It's already breaking up into parts. You start with Fate Stay Night, the beginning. Just break it up into parts. I leap out of the way of the black mud as it strikes me once again. I just started reading One Piece last month. Actually, well then you don't have any excuses, because One Piece is definitely longer than fucking this shit. Same concept. Just break it up into parts. Do one arc at a time. Do one game at a time. Do whatever anime at a time. Whatever you do not start with Fate Zero. Start at the beginning, because Fate Zero is it may be the chronological beginning, but it is going to exposit at you, and you're not gonna know what the fuck's happening. The hell with the darting around blindly. This master's intent on killing you. I reposition myself, keeping an eye on the lake. I'm no closer to Kotomine. Looks like he's gonna keep me 10 meters away. The muddy tentacle seems to be able to stretch endlessly. It follows no matter how far I retreat, and it's not the only one. I misread it before. He said I would have no way to kill you. Yeah, the first time I misread it, it says I would have had no way to kill you.
助けを求める者を殺めるわけにもいかなくてな。
よく言う。人を背中から襲ったやつがな、そんな言葉を吐くんじゃない。
He's probably remembering what happened with Lancer when I say that. Puts me on last as if impressed.
そうだったな。 お前にはあれで愛想が尽きていた。これ以上先延ばしにする必要はない。正直に言うとな、エミヤシロ。私はお前に期待していたのだ。リンがお前を教会に導いた夜、運命すら感じた。お前があの男の息子と分かり、内面まで似通っていると知った時の喜びなど分かるまい。10年前に叶わなかった望み、エミヤキリツグという男にこうしてもう一度引導を渡せるとは思わなかった。
He did look at us and smile like a creepo. The tentacle twists toward me. It looms over the lake, its sickle-shaped head like a dark serpent. I bite my lip. I'm in about the worst possible situation here. More and more tentacles emerge from the lake. I'm not sure how much longer I can even survive, to say nothing of getting near Kotomine. Also, B-Man, you could just watch the VODs, because I did play most of the game and this is the beginning, so, you know, you can support your boy that way. That works. Also, thank you for 20 months. I didn't realize it had been 20 months. I just said thanks for the reset. Thank you for 20 months, bro. 20-month streak.
お前の生きた年数と私の生きた年数では大きく開きがある。何かで掛け算でもしない限り埋められる差ではあるまい。
Reese raises his hands. He stares at the heavens like a conductor leading an orchestra.
命をかけろ。あるいはこの身に届くかもしれん。
It's been almost 2 years. It's been almost 2 years. The serpent surge forward. Reading is hard. Okay, we're switching to damn. Sparks fly in all directions. So in the original in the bad end, that's where he dies. So this is now officially all 100% new content. Past the quote unquote dead end. Hit the like button. Do that. It's free. You should hit the like button. Hit the like button. It's free. The Golden Knight steps back, evading a series of savage attacks executed with astonishing skill. She must have seen it as an opening. Saber twists away from a short sword fired at her and takes a step toward her enemy. Her shout tears through space. Her sword strikes like a comet. She presses the attack on the Golden Knight. He stumbles backwards, overwhelmed by her skill and ferocity. Her sword dances. So titanic is the strength behind every blow. Each could shatter boulders, smash down the walls of even the most impregnable fortress, and yet the myriad deadly weapons appear from behind her enemy, turn aside every strike. Gilgamesh slips back from the onslaught. Another sword in his hand. It is easy enough for her to repel his strikes. She can't meet his attacks directly. Each of his enemy's weapons has abilities she simply does not know. Being struck by a weapon and not knowing what it might do is suicide. Saber steps away from her cornered enemy to compose herself. Gilgamesh, on the other hand, is not at all troubled and picks himself up.
懲りぬ女よ。何度やっても無駄だとわからぬか?
Gilgamesh shows no sign of fatigue. To him, this battle is merely a bit of entertainment. He can't very well feel nervous or tired if he knows with perfect certainty that he will win. That's not how winning works, but I understand. It is another matter entirely for Saber. She knows that on her only shot of victory is now, or her enemy starts taking this seriously. She needs to defeat Gilgamesh before he can use Ea, or she will lose. And so, even knowing that it may be impossible, she does not relent in her onslaught, giving no thought to her own stamina. This isn't the first time she's cornered her enemy, or the second. She's never been able to break through that wall of noble phantasms.
まだ続けるのか。主に忠誠を誓うのはいいが、それも限度があろう。今頃あの雑種は琴峰に殺されている。
私の主は健在だ。あのようなマスター相手に、四郎が膝を屈するなどありえない。
それも時間の問題だ。お前は聖杯を知らぬ。あれの相手は俺でも手こずるのだぞ。お前ならいざ知らず、あのような小僧が1分と持つものか。お前は俺には勝てぬし、あやつでは琴峰に勝てん。配役を誤ったな。お前が聖杯に挑んでいれば、この戦いはお前の勝利だったろうに。
There was no amusement in the Gold Knight's eyes. He's serious. But that's wrong. To Saber, the choice itself was a mistake.
まさか。これが正しい選択だ。私は貴様になど負けぬし、四郎はあのような死者には負けない。まだ出てもいない結果を期待するとは、英雄王の名も地に落ちたというものだ。
ほう。減らず口を言うだけの体力は残っていたか。
The air around Gilgamesh twists in the distorts. More and more noble phantasms appear behind him.
来るか。
She adjusts her grip on her sacred sword. In truth, there is a way. There's only one way to defeat the Golden Knight.
だがそれには。
For her plan to succeed, certain conditions must be met. Even if she takes out Ia. Is that a typo? No. That wasn't a typo. What the fuck does she have Ia? Even if she takes out Ia, he will be able to defend against her attack if he has any energy left. She would also have to take Ia's attack head on again to be sure whether it's possible to defeat.
まさか。いかに鞘が戻ろうと、あれを受けては立ち上がれない。
But there is no other way to win. It is just a matter of how to spin that thin thread of hope into real victory. Normally, her intuition would show her the best route, and she would act in accordance with what she sees. But that intuition is no help now. Perhaps her chances for victory are so slim that her intuition cannot show her the path. She doesn't have detective mode on. Her spider sense is not activating. But she still has to fight. She has to keep fighting for Shiro, who surrendered his own defense by returning the sheaf to her. She cannot let this man defeat her.
そうか。どうやら決定的な敗北でなければ納得がいかぬと見える。
Even more weapons appear behind Gilgamesh. Every single one aims towards Saber, moving without Gilgamesh even touching them. Or only the hilts were visible. Now the blades emerge, waiting for their master's command. This is the way knights should fight. Gilgamesh was never a swordsman. His many noble phantasms are deployed within time-space and become bullets under their master's command. This is why he's an archer. He is the strongest in that regard.
うまく避けろ。なーに。運が良ければ手足を串刺す程度であろう。
With a single command, a rain of swords descends on her with godlike speed. Each of them possess their own special fatal power. She evades every single one as gracefully slipping between falling leaves. A sword from the front, a spear from the left, pole arms from above and below, a three-pronged sword sweeping at her in an arc, a hammer larger even than her streaks toward her. What? A hammer larger even than her streaks. I feel like this should be a comma in the sentence. A hammer larger than even her streaks toward her like a meteor. She blocks, parries, dodges, and then twists away from the final attack. Saber's breathing is labored, and she struggles to regain her ground after being put on the back foot. At that moment, she sees something behind her enemy. Behind Gilgamesh, 47 noble phantasms are deployed, all at the ready. She leaps with all her might. As if to prevent her from escaping, a flurry of noble phantasms race toward her, tearing up the earth. A torrent of noble phantasms slams into the ground one after another. Her armor is shattered, her gauntlet is split open, and even her greaves are impaled. She manages to avoid sustaining any fatal wounds, but in that moment she sees something even worse. Beyond the rain of noble phantasms, as if to finish off his exhausted prey, the King of Heroes draws his favorite sword. Saber lets gravity carry her back to the ground. She lands hard and immediately pours magical energy into her sword. She isn't sure she can make it in time. The wind howls. The blade of light emerges as she raises her sword without waiting for the wind to finish unraveling. She doesn't bother deflecting the rain of noble phantasms. She simply swings her sacred sword with all of her might and all the swiftness she can muster. She's too late. Gilgamesh sweeps his other noble phantasm aside and swings Ia. I try to kick away the mud clinging to my ankles. My clothes are burnt and my skin is exposed. Okay, I lied. This is still not new content. Wait, we got to see what Saber was doing. That was cool. I jump away from the lunging tentacle. Can't feel my can't feel my mud-coated right ankle. I wasn't entirely sure I even still had my right leg until I used it to leap away. I check my body while I roll. Ankle? Okay. Yeah, it's still there. I just can't feel it. It's more or less intact. I could probably still run. I jump in another direction to avoid the mud's relentless attacks. Beside me, I hear a splash. The scent of burning earth wakes my dizzy head, and I push myself back up to my feet. A burning sensation sears its way down my back. I shake it off and jump to the closest clear ground. The mud pursuit relents. I can no longer see any of the black mud that surrounded me. I bite my lip. I dodged and ran all over the place, but in the end, I'm right back here. I calm my breathing and look up at him to at least show he hasn't broken my spirit. Kotomine has not moved at all. He's just watching me run around. No matter how many deep breaths I take, my heart won't stop pounding. It's warning me that this is his limit. He needs rest. My heart is ready to burst if I don't rest. That's how rapidly it's thumping in my chest. It's all about jumping out of my mouth at this point. I can't do anything. I can't get near Kotomine, and I can't stop that black mud. There's not enough time for me to hold back about using projection. It's my only hope. There's no way forward. I have to project Saber's sword again. I should be able to cut through the black mud and give me a chance to rush Kotomine.
なんだそれで終わりか諦めたのならそうと言え
The moment he speaks, a tidal wave of mud crashes over me. I look up in time to dodge. The mud itself isn't bad. It's slow compared to Saber's strikes when he's sparred, and it doesn't change direction so easily, so it's easy to dodge. That's only implied when there's just one tentacle. I can't handle multiple strikes at once, or those attacks from behind us as soon as I've dodged another one. As a result, I can only move around and still, mud slowly covers me. There's no time to rest. I'm not going to be able to use my projection. Projection record, yep. But if I give Kotamine an opening like that, yep. Everywhere the mud touches me, I go numb. At least it's not painful, but if that mud covers my entire body, I might not even know whether I'm alive or dead. If that happens, I'm a goner. I melt away, bones and all. I can only run. I know it's only a matter of time until I run out of steam, but I have to keep running for now. I have no chance of reaching Kotamine while all I'm doing is avoiding the mud. The mud pours like waterfall behind me, so trying that way isn't an option either. If I'm going to have any chance of getting near, I might have to do something about this mud. I can't believe it. Picking now of all times to trip. Kotamine stares down at me as if I were a piece of trash. He points his finger at me and several snake heads rear up from the lake. Get up. I try to get up, but fall again. I fall. The snake pursue me. I still fall. Why? Black mud splashes over the back of my neck. Why? Now that I look closer, my right leg is entirely black.
So こまでか。少しは楽しめると期待したが、所詮はキリツグの息子。つくづく益にならぬ連中だ。
I look up. I'm still conscious. My wrists and neck are bound in chains of mud, but I can still feel my body.
なんでとどめを刺さない。
無論、すぐ終わらせるとも。だがそれでは芸がなかろう。お前はキリツグの贋作だからな。奴に受けた10年前の負債は、お前の死で返してもらう。
My skin burns where the mud touches it. It feels like acid is seeping from my pores. I grit my teeth, trying to endure the pain, and check my right leg. It's completely black. Can't feel it and it won't move. I need to either get this mud off me or pour magical energy through the affected areas and push out the coagulated blood. Either way, the moment I try to move my right leg, it'll probably tear off every muscle in it.
そうかよ。そりゃ構わないが、お前なんだってそこまでキリツグを目の敵にするんだ。キリツグに聖杯を壊されたことがよっぽど悔しかったのか。
なに、近親憎悪というやつだ。私とキリツグは似ていたからな。奴の行為は全てが勘に触ったよ。ちょうどお前が私に嫌悪を抱くのと変わらない。
ふざけるな。キリツグとお前が似ているなんて間違っても口にするな。
なるほど、お前にとってはそうだろう。何しろ奴は私を見逃すほどの善人だったからな。あの大火災を引き起こした私を倒しただけで命までは取らなかった。それが間違いだったことをお前は知っているはずだ。キリツグさえ私を殺しておけば、あの孤児たちは穏やかな日常を送れたのだろうからな。
See, the way he's speaking right now makes me think that he fucking wants to die. Like he's lying to us. He might not be, but he's been saying weird shit like that to make them that's counterintuitive to the way that he's acting as an antagonist.
反論できまい。だが私にとってもそれは不快な事実だった。私がではない。あれほど冷酷な魔術師だった男が敵を助けたという事実こそが不快だった。
Story again. Saber told me that before Kiritsugu was a first-class mage, he would do anything to accomplish his goals. But then...
だが、奴の過ちはそんなことではない。奴が犯した過ちはな、聖杯を壊しただけでこの戦いが終わったと思い込んだことだ。故に、 奴はお前に何も伝えず、聖杯戦争は終わったのだと楽観し、この呪いに侵されたまま人生を終えた。道家といえば道家だな。奴は自身を呪った私を見逃し、その果てに数年足らずで命を落とした。自分はことを成したと、聖杯戦争を終わらせたのだと勘違いの達成感を得たままでな。
Hold on. Does that mean Kiritsugu died because of Kotomine? What did that peaceful what did the peaceful face he had on that night of his death mean?
そうだ。最後に聞いておこう。キリツグの最後はどうだったのだ、エミヤシロ。息子であるお前に後を託し、何やら満足していったわけか。なんという道家ぶりだ。何一つとしてなせず、息子であるお前に責任を押し付け、さぞ滑稽に消えたのであろうな。
てめえ
Pick at the ground. I forced my leg to move, flooding it with magical energy. Muscles tear, but I ignore it as I lunge forward on all fours like a wild animal.
そうだ。その程度の気概がなくては話にならん。
Kotomina holds his hands over over the waterfall behind him. I don't know what he's thinking. That cascade of mud is a curse so dense it can be seen. It would be fair to call it a massive magical energy meant only to destroy people. There's no room to modify it to change its shape. Anyone who touches that mud would be contaminated by its potent curse, and then dissolve as if the stuff were digesting them. Which means the pain and fear felt in those dying moments lingers as magical energy, becoming the next curse to seek out the living. Whoever touches that stuff will die. Anyone who touches it will die unless they can get the mud out of themselves. Even so, the priest sticks his hand into the waterfall, smiling. He fills his hand with darkness. I know instinctively that this will be different than before. A flash of light illuminates the world. The moment I realize it's the light of Saber's noble phantasm. The priest's words plunge the entire world into darkness. She'd been blinded by a little light a moment ago, but now she's cast into darkness. If she had been conscious, she would have been seen that it was a black polar light. The darkness was momentary. But it was not darkness, it was a swarm of tiny curses. The darkness sweeps her body away, and the discomfort jolts her from the wakefulness. Jolts her to wakefulness. I sigh. The first thing returning to consciousness brings her his pain. Words! Whatever parts of her were not protected by her armor are horribly burned, and her flesh has been brutally savaged by blades of all sorts. She's in a dismal sight. He had defeated her. Gilgamesh has unleashed his noble phantasms, and she could not defend against them. Against so many, and he has struck her. She barely managed to deflect it with Excalibur, but the damage to her body was too severe. Her wounds heal on their own without using magical energy. Even the protection of Sacred Sword's sheath is unable to return her to full health in an instant. And then...
ここまでだ、セイバー。よもやその体で、まだ敗北を認めぬなどと言わぬだろうな。
Gilgamesh walks forward, not a scratch on his armor. Saber lays on the ground looking up at her enemy. There's nothing she can do right now. Nothing can stop him from doing whatever he likes with her now.
Gilgamesh, 今の光は
Despite the situation, Saber is more concerned about the light. I thought it came from her, but I guess not. The flash of light. The deep darkness that welled up from the far side of the temple for a moment covered the world itself. He doesn't want to think about it, but that darkness might have been aimed at Shido.
今の光か。お前ならばわかろう。あれは極大の呪いだ。琴峰が聖杯から直接呼び出したのだろうな。聖杯の中にはこの世のすべてを呪うなどというものがあるのだそうだ。先ほどから見えているあのお濁はな、聖杯から漏れている残りカスに過ぎん。その本体を出されたのだ。お前のマスターとてもはやこの世にはおるまい。
そんなことは。
Saber wills her body to move, but she knows she can't. She can't just lay down though.
嘘だ。シローは生きている。まだちゃんと。
She can still feel her connection with her master. It's weak, like the faint embers of a fire on the verge of going out, but Shido is alive. She has to keep going. If he fights something unheard of or incomprehensible, she will be no match for it. Saber clings to that faint warmth and again wills herself to move. But it's useless. Even the sacred sword's sheath needs a few more minutes to restore her.
もはや手遅れだ。おとなしくしていろよ、セイバー。お前が何をしようが次期聖杯は溢れ出す。10年前の再来だ。ただし、こたびの義は俺ではなくお前に与えられたものだがな。
The Golden Knight smiles as he turns his gaze upward to the burning sky.
喜べ、セイバー。あれを浴びればお前も俺と同じになれる。この世で肉を持ち第二の生を謳歌できよ
う。But like, she's not dead, so does that just not work?
まあもっとも俺のように自我を保てるとは限らんが。
Sarah looks up at him, bewildered. She can sense the immensity of the curse. It is a magnificent cluster of magical energy. With so much power, any magecraft would be possible. For a caster to wield it, its possibilities would be endless. But it's a double-edged sword. Its curses humans and only humans. Even heroic spirits would not be able to remain themselves after coming into contact with that curse. That's when she realizes, Gilgamesh. A decade ago, that corruption even swallowed up the most ancient king of heroes. Then...
ギルガメッシュ。あなたは。
He's gone mad.
ほう、そう思うか、騎士よ。
Gilgamesh looks down at Saber, laughing merrily. It's strangely out of character for him, but the looks seem somehow appropriate.
侮るな。あの程度の呪い、飲み干せなくて何が英雄か。この世すべての悪？はっ、俺を染めたければ、その3倍は持ってこい。良いか、セイバー。英雄とはな、己が視界に入るすべての人間を背負うもの。この世のすべてなぞ、とうの昔に背負っている。
Hearing those words, Saber gasps. She knows in that moment that she will never understand this heroic spirit. His unthinkable arrogance, the staggering ego leading him to believe heaven and earth exist only for him, his ruthless choices that bear no regard for any but himself. All of these things are completely opposite to her own beliefs of what it is to be king. But he was a king. Even Saber cannot deny that. No other servant than Gilgamesh could have retained their sense of all self after being bathed in that intensely powerful curse.
そうだな。泥を飲ませるのはいいが、それで自我を失われては楽しみがない。どれ、今のうちに婚姻を決めておくか。
ギルガメッシュ、貴様。
What the fuck is happening in this shot? She's upside down. But what is going on here?
なんだ、手荒く扱われるのは趣味ではないか？ならば慣れておけ。女と食事に出し惜しみはしない主義でな。気の向くままに奪い、食らうだけだ。
Saber glares up at Gilgamesh as she hangs upside down.
サーバントとしてマスターに義理を立てているわけか。くだらんな。たかが霊樹の縛りでこの体をくれてやっていたとは。
それは違う。勘違いをするな、ギルガメッシュ。私は誰にも従わない。初めからこの体にそんな自由はないのだ。
ほう。ではどうあっても俺のものにはならないというのか。
Okay, I understand now. Gilgamesh is holding her by her foot and she's just kind of floating. She's just kind of like hanging there. I understand what's happening now. It was very, like, the angle of this is very odd. His red eyes rake over Saber. They are entirely devoid of human emotion. If she disobeys, he will kill her. No matter how attached he may be to something, if he does not obey him, he will simply destroy it. That is simply how Gilgamesh sees the world. Saber doesn't look away. She simply glares hatefully at Gilgamesh.
ギルガメッシュ、私は誰のものにもならない。
Okay, I don't know how you guys heard that. Was the voice line fucked up for you guys too?
私はすでに国のものだ。この身は女である前に王なのだから。
She's not saying this to anyone in particular. She's simply expressing the tiny warmth still within her heart.
何を言うかと思えば、笑わせるな、セイバー。王にとって国とは己のものに過ぎない。何もかも支配できぬのならば、王などという超越者は不要なのだ。まったく。アーサー王よ。そんなだからお前は国によって滅ぼされたのだ。
The Golden Knight mocks her for her naivety. Her heart is set now.
ああ、その通りだ。だが英雄王よ。そんなだから、貴様は自らの国を滅ぼしたのだ。
Such fierce spirit. Saber twists her entire body, using the leverage to kick Gilgamesh in the face with her free leg. Gilgamesh releases her. Saber stretches her arms out and arrests her fall and springs forward.
男子を足毛に。おのれ。どうやら本格的にしつけられたいらしいな。セイバー!
Saber closes her eyes and looks within herself. It is no wonder your own country turned on you. It is not news to her. Since her summoning a Saber, she's been hearing those words over and over. It's different with him. He grew angry with her as if it had been about him, but he also thought her actions were worthy of pride. She knows what she must do. Even if she has no hope of victory, she cannot stop here. She needs to do something while she can still feel the warmth inside of her. She has to get her to her master as fast as she can. She's about 8 meters from Gilgamesh. She positions herself at the ideal distance for intercepting an attack, which she just experienced firsthand. Her body won't move the way she wants. She can barely grip her sword, and her legs are hardly able to bear the weight. Even a weak blow would be too much for her now. But she shows neither weakness nor hesitation.
一言聞いておくが。
Even Gilgamesh feels he has to prepare himself. The Golden Knight radiates Ea, his eyes on his opponent. Ready? Saber doesn't answer. Her determination is there to see in her eyes.
よかろう。 ならば加減はなしだ。
The air itself roars. Ea, the sword of rupture from ancient Mesopotamia, is said to have divided heaven and earth to create the world. Gilgamesh, the king of heroes, readies his supreme sword to finally put an end to his enemy. The atmospheric vortex it creates, the sheer quantity of converging magical energy, far exceeds Saber's Excalibur. Gilgamesh raises his sword. Saber mirrors the movement in perfect synchronization. Their eyes meet for an instant. Gilgamesh flourishes his sword, but Saber's sword falls to the ground, useless, as she lacks the strength to activate her noble phantasm. The light which can sever all things bursts through her. Unable to do anything, she is swallowed up by the light. The moment I'm engulfed in darkness, hell itself is imprinted on my mind. The 5 starting penalties: life, body, imprisonment, humiliation, and finance. With the myriad sins, mud, darkness, and malice continue to surround and punish all. Eliminate human rights through decapitation, exile, and repression. Let the body descend into a state of torment and debauchery. Eliminate groups' consensus by forfeiting honor. Die. Ridicule through greed and arbitrary decisions that freeze assets and property. Imprison fines the death penalty. Crimes committed in the name of personal grudges. Crimes committed to satisfy selfish desires. Crimes committed committed unconsciously. Crimes proclaiming self-consciousness. Civil disturbance, solicitation, fraud, theft, robbery, kidnapping, self-harm, violence, arson, bombing, infringement, manslaughter, group violence, professional negligence, overconfidence. Hit the like button because we just got demonetized just by saying all of these things. Law and Order. I should definitely make a Law and Order thing that just plays when you type Law and Order. That would be really fucking funny. Also, hello, Rocket Pal. Accidents. Accidents by intoxication. Cover-ups. Crimes for personal gain. Crimes committed in the name of ego. Crimes committed in the name of love. Crimes committed in the name of virtue. Crimes committed for themselves. Theft and embezzlement. Fraudulent cover-ups. Contraband. Crime, hate, grudge, attack, dirty, you really dirty. At one. Okay, all of that is just fucking. Oh, it says a tone. It says a tone. I think it says a tone and violence. Crimes, victims, atone. This world is ruled by non-humans. Know your conscience to rectify your sins. Know the The fuck is that? Oh, that's the track. Know the penalty of your sins. Herein lies the goodness of man, so plentiful that he is unaware of the totality of what he's exposed to. Know the violence used to cover up crime. Know the authority that hides the crime. The malignancy of a man is here, so rare and so hard to find that it stands out in sharp relief. 100 benign, 1 malignant. To balance it out, the malignant malevolent shrine. The malignant shines strong and reigns as a mighty and vicious evil to compete with the benign masses. The 5 starting penalties. For you. I'm not reading all of that. Solicitation, fraud, theft, robbery, kidnapping, self-harm, tyranny, arson, infringement. Dirty, you're all dirty. Atonement. Violence, crimes, victims atone. Die to atone. My brain's going to explode. The The mud eating away at my body does not peel off and mercilessly robs me of my warmth. I feel the horrible curse crushing all of my senses, crushing me. Darkness I can't look at directly. Ugliness I can't acknowledge. Crimes I want to run from. All man's sins. I'm going to die. Anyone caught in this darkness would be able to resist letting it devour them, just for the sheer pain and disgust it's from. But Kotomine said once, this curse is what killed Kiritsunu. That's enough to banish the darkness. The heat returns to my body. The blood rushes through me, wounded as I am, and helps me get back to my feet. Why not? I mean, Kitsugi and me shouldered all of this for years. Die he did. Did he die? His own wishes unfulfilled because those voices never stopped screaming at him to atone? Said he wanted to be a champion of justice. He ran around like an idiot trying to be useful to someone, and in the end, nobody let him do what he wanted to do. Even so, he pursued something, the ideals he'd given up on. And then, in the end, the world of some silly kid lifted a burden from him, and he finally let himself believe that everything would be okay. Ah! Got it. I had to stand up. I said I was going to take his place and carry on his dream. If I really am the son of Kiritsugu and Miya, the champion of justice, I can't let the bad guy beat me. Osaka told me I needed to win even if it kills me. Saber told me Kotomine is the enemy and I have to defeat. Even if Kotomine said, if I'm going to fight, I should put my life on. Even Kotomine said, if I'm going to fight, I should put my life on the line. That's right. What can I put on the line if not my life? I don't have anything else to offer anyway. I desperately leap out of the mass of black mud. I can hear surprise. My throat is burning. Every breath is like swallowing glass. I don't care. Tears of frustration stream down my face. I might just burst from sheer anger before the curse can tear me apart. Fucking Shiro emerges from the curse, the manifestation of all of humanity's sins, and goes, "Bitch, that was Tuesday." I push my body, forcing it to run. One hand goes behind my back, grip the dagger I've been concealing this whole time. See? This is why I didn't choose that option, because I was like, what plan could we possibly make that'll fix the situation? That's why I didn't choose that option before. Even Cheeto doesn't have a fucking plan. That was the... Jesus Christ. I run. Kotomine sticks his hand into the waterfall behind him and draws out another lump of darkness. See, the response here is, even if that's true, that just means I have to beat him now. There's no more hesitation now. If I get my hands on Kotomine, he will regret what he just said more than anything else. I still have a command spell on my left hand. I don't know if I'm alive or dead, but that is proof enough. I can feel the truth of it. As long as I still have my command spell, Saber is still with me. If she's still here, she must have defeated Gilgamesh and be headed to me right now. And if I don't greet her with an open arms when that happens, well, I know well enough that she'll be mad. So I'm going to beat you right here and now, and fulfill the promise I made to her. Darkness closes in on me. Kotomine releases a giant massive curse. My body begins to crumble, starting with the extremities. I won't look away. If this is my role, I'm not done yet. A fault line splits space itself. With a flash of light and a roar of wind, the air releases a vortex of pure destruction. The sheer intensity prevents Saber from using her own noble phantasm. So she lowers her sword and lets herself sway as if collapsing. The light draws near. Saber's too injured to dodge, and there's no shield capable of defending against Ia's attack. That furious dance of light and wind can only annihilate everything in its path. Nothing can stand up to Ia. It's an immutable fact. Both of them knew it to be true a few hours ago. For once, that astonished cry comes from not Saber, but from the Golden Knight of wielding Ia. Ia continues to release a torrent of magical energy, unleashing a ravening beam of destruction. But Saber is on her feet, stepping into the light of Ia's power. Her silver armor screams. Cracks splinter every layer of magical energy protecting her. Not a second to lose, she closes the gap between herself and Gilgamesh. To counter Ia's destruction, Saber releases every drop of power at her command. Searching heat scorches the earth in all directions in a brilliant flash of light. Two titanically powerful swords clash, their power so vast it creates a visible boulder as the two struggle against each other. But is it all for nothing? Excalibur cannot beat Ia. A final flash? Someone pointed out, like, I watched a YouTube video relatively recently in which someone pointed out that the final flash literally never works. And I'm pissed, because that attack is really cool, but they're right. The final flash literally has never worked. Even if Saber risks her, having to shut the fuck up, but they're right. It literally, name one time the final flash worked. It's never caught a body. Even if Saber risks her life in attacks without concern for the consequences, she can only push back just the smallest bit. Vegeta has always used it against a stronger guy in Cell. But it doesn't, but the point is that it doesn't work. I mean, most of the attacks in Dragon Ball doesn't work, but like he pulls it out, Vegeta pulls that move out like it does something. Skills tilt in favor of Ia, and Excalibur's light weakens, pushing Saber back. Actually, now that I think about it, I think the only attack that has actually worked that isn't the Kamehameha is the special beam cannon. In the Spirit Bomb, Dragon Fist is my favorite attack. My favorite attack is the Dragon Fist, and that attack that Gogeta does against Broly when he lifts his arms up and the fucking energy explodes like a geyser. Those two attacks are my favorite attacks. The scales tilt in favor of Ia, and Excalibur's light weakens, pushing Saber back. Mine's Light Grenade? I fucking hate Light Grenade. Not because of what it looks like in the anime or anything, it's a cool attack. But I hate Light Grenade because it doesn't look cool in when you do it in Fighters. It's just a fucking ball. It should look much cooler when it was in Fighters. The Golden Knight draws Ia back, but then sees his enemy renewed reckless advance. So he pours yet more magical energy into Ia. Still turning back. All there is to do is to use his full power to utterly annihilate Saber. Ia's segments spin faster and faster and faster, reaching their maximum speed, and the light that envelops Saber cuts Excalibur down. But that instant before that happens, Saber charges. A tiny opening created by Excalibur's power allows her to take it a single step closer. In that instant, she reaches that space. Her noble phantasm appears. Darkness buffets Shira as if you were caught in a wind tunnel. There is no avoiding or deflecting darkness that coats space itself. Those swallowed by the darkness can only be consumed by it. He's corroding from the fingertips inward. His legs kick at the air as if swimming. His outstretched arms are swallowed up in the black mud. His vision fails him. It's like being erased. Shiro feels himself shrinking, but he refuses to die. He tries not to look away, pours every ounce of strength he has into resisting. He fights the darkness covering him, the pain trying to melt his body and the curse trying to dissolve his mind. It's all in vain. No human could resist this corruption, and yet he continues to move. His arm is still raised, held up, trying to grab something. But his heart is already broken. His thoughts are smoldered in darkness, and it will soon consume him. But in that moment, why did he remember that voice? A light in the darkness. The moment he realizes it's that light, everything runs in reverse. A switch flips. It sounded like a gun got cocked. His thoughts gain speed, creating crackling sparks, and form the shape of an astonishing speed. He murmurs the spell to begin projection. In that instant, it's complete, skipping every step of the manufacturing process. He didn't need to reproduce it from scratch. The shape has already been engraved onto his very soul. He's been a part of Shiro and Mir for so long that he perfectly memorized it. His fingertips desperately reaching move again. They grab hold of an object that he created without concentrating or spellcasting. The world turns on its head. Darkness eradicating by golden light, and Shiro's grasp duplicated flawlessly, Saber's sheath, Avalon. So, as Ia's all-destroying light burns away everything in its path, Saber releases her own noble phantasm. What appears before her is without question the sacred sword sheath. The mystics with which shrouded are unknown, but the sheath repels Ia's light. No, this is beyond simply defending its wielder. Instead, it cuts her off completely. The wall that keeps the filth of the outside world from fairyland, a world that cannot be reached, forever isolating the rest of the world. Saber is protected by the sheath of the sacred sword. For a moment, she exists apart from all reason and logic in this world. It is the greatest protection in the world. Nothing, not even the fire magic, can pierce this perfect defense. And so, the sheath is named Avalon. Avalon, it is the place King Arthur is said to have gone after dying, the utopia the king dreamed of, but cannot yet reach. Gilgamesh sees the Grim Reaper raising its sight. But it's too late. Ia won't stop rotating and Gilgamesh can't retreat. How could he? Who could ever have believed an attack with so much magical energy, such unimaginable power, could ever be blocked? A shriek of blue surges forward. Saber's armor is gone. She shed her armor so she can use its magical energy for her sword. That's badass. The moment he... Oh, right, this is Shido. The moment he takes the sheath, the darkness is dispelled. The darkness surrounding Shido and Mia, darkness contaminating his body, fades all at once. But this should come as no surprise. Hello, Miss. That's what you call a one-piece ending? I guess. The sacred sword's sheath protects its owner. That filthy mud could not possibly destroy the embodiment of the utopia the girl sought. He runs. In the instant the darkness is dispelled, he moves with all the speed of a comet. The priest, so assured of his own strength, and the boy who could afford no such arrogance, face off. What the fuck is happening? The end. It is but an instant, but the instant decides the battle. Shido in the air runs, sometimes stumbling on all fours. In one hand, he holds the dagger. He scrambles forward on his hands and knees toward the priest. Shido doesn't stop. He thrusts the dagger of retribution into the priest's chest. Is the priest the main bad guy or something? Yeah, but like that was kind of obvious the moment he appeared on screen. Like we even made jokes about it. He just sounds like a bad guy. You were there for that part. I remember because you also made a joke. The priest turns slowly, before he can leave. Shido steps down on one foot to ground himself and turns in a circle using the momentum of his dash. He inverts himself like a top, and he floods his left hand with magical energy. Like a whirlwind. That's a little, like, unnecessary. He could have just did all that shit before he stabbed him, but it was cool. His magical energy pours into the Azoth blade along with the word to trigger its release. Saber swings her golden sword. She must not have had the energy to push herself back up. Saber keeps her sword down, head down. Yukuma stares wide-eyed at the knight as she cuts him in half. In the silence after, the wind whispers through the compound. There remains not a trace of the light that had flooded the area seconds ago. The two knights do not exchange words, simply stand facing each other as the battle ends. Gilgamesh sighs. He lifts his hand and traces a finger along his cheek, as if to check the knight. His golden armor begins to fade. The bloody king of heroes starts to disappear. God, I hate him. I hate him a lot, actually. His finger slips away from her. The arm he'd raised to touch her falls weakly. He clicks his tongue in displeasure. Then, at the end, he smiles ironically and vanishes. Give me a second to drink some water, because holy fuck, this is a lot of reading. My mouth is so dry. Pale blue sparks flicker along the priest's form. They spread in all directions from where the dagger protrudes from his chest. No flesh falls away, and there's no sign of bleeding. Even so, the battle comes to an end. He's not even looking at me. Instead, he stares down at the dagger in his chest in confusion. The wind is blowing. A gust of wind blows from the hollow overhead, muffling the sound around him. In the silence that follows, Kotomina's voice is low, mumbling. I'm not sure how long he was thinking. He takes a deep breath and finally moves, having been motionless from the moment I charged him and impaled him with the blade.
そうか。以前気まぐれでどこぞの娘にくれてやったことがあった。あれは確か10年前か。なるほど。私も衰えるはずだ。
What do you mean he collapses? I watched it all unfold. Even on the brink of death, he spoke of himself as if he were talking about someone else. Finally, the priest sinks into that which he summoned, the very thing he wished for. And that is the end of Kirei Kotomine. The true end of a long battle. Guess what? Chicken butt. My man, Rocky Val. Want a Berserk book in my school library? High school library or college? So I'm trying to write down the last note, but like my pen doesn't want to work. School? What the fuck is a Berserk book doing in your fucking high school? Did they not realize how fucked up Berserk is? What is the school library doing with manga anyway? It's a place of learning, not weebs. With the enemy defeated, only one task remains. It's a good read. I didn't say it was a bad read. I said it's a place of learning, not weeps. That story is fucked up. I mean, I guess he read like Macbeth and shit like that, but like, come on, bro. Who's studying Berserk in school? The dark hollow in the sky. The mud has stopped pouring from it, but the eerie void continues to quicken. It's the Holy Grail. The omnipotent grail said to be given to the winner of this war. There's nothing you can learn from it except war crimes. It's true. There's nothing you can learn from it except war crimes and the most hateable nigga ever. And it's Gus, because Griffin did nothing wrong. The wind howls. With Kotomine gone, the power binding Ilya vanishes. Ilya has been released from the hollow, and now she sleeps beside me. She doesn't seem to be in danger of dying. Well, the library teacher said he's not going to buy the second volume because it's too gory. He shouldn't have bought the first volume. He clearly didn't know what he was doing. She'll probably wake up after we go. There's titties in fucking Berserk. There's no way they should be in a high school library. She'll probably wake up after we go home and have Tosaka look after her. Bitch, let Tosaka rest. Gus is literally pounding some cheeks in the first chapter. I don't remember that. That's funny.
What the hell is this?
What the fuck was he cooking? Who knows? The war is ended. No one else will get hurt. We won't have to lose anyone else now. No more masters. And the servants will disappear now that their roles are over. I knew this was going to happen. I climbed those long stairs with her earlier. We've already said our goodbyes. All that's left is to bring this curtain down on this whole war. I look up at the hollow and wait. My heart is empty as the void. And then she appears. She walks straight towards me, looking no different than when we first met. She stops once we're close to touch each other. We neither ask about each other's well-being nor offer any congratulations. This has already been decided. There's only one thing left to do.
聖杯を破壊します。それが私の役割です。
Saber starts walking forward. The strong wind coming from the hollow do not deter her. She approaches one step at a time. She's within range. She quietly readies her sword and looks up at the block hollow. I just watch from where I stand. Clench my fists so hard they bleed. Bite my lip. I try to hold back the feelings fighting for expression. I try to burn the image of her into my mind. And then...
Master, 命令を。あなたの命がなければ、あれは破壊できない。
Seems like she can't do it either. Her back's still to me. She tells me to use my final command spell. When the Holy Grail is destroyed, Saber will disappear. No, since Saber will destroy the Holy Grail with her own hands, she won't have to become a servant. She only became a servant because she sought the Holy Grail. Destroying the Holy Grail should also void her contract, since she will have chosen to do it. The moment she destroys the Holy Grail, her life will end, but she will remain king forever.
シロ、あなたの声で聞かせてほしい。
I hear Saber. Every time I hear her voice, I want to scream. I want to tell her not to go. I want to scream I want to scream my real, honest desire. I want her to stay. And yet, I can't ever say that. I love Saber. I want her to be happy more than anything else, and I want her to be here forever. If I really love her, that's not what I should be doing. I love Saber for fighting her hardest even when she was wounded. She gave up everything, and while she was torn apart, she still held her conviction, even to the very end. If I think that is beautiful, if I think that is something worth protecting, then I can't destroy everything she stood for just for my own happiness. If you love me, let me go. Yeah, I'm about to get hit with ads. Let me see if I stop that real quick. Boop. She was born a king. That's how she lived. Nothing can change that. The moment she drew her sword and made her vow, she was king, nothing else. That is her conviction. She fought her battles until the very end, believing she was doing the right thing. The dream of a young girl named Altria. She abandoned her own life and chose to be king. She chose to fight. Even when she was told everything she does would go unrewarded, she still wielded the sword and kept to her vow as king. That lasted for many years. Can't do anything to tarnish the pride she held on to until her final moments. That's not what that sentence said.
Saber, その責務を果たしてくれ。
Her voice is heavy with emotion. Light flares around us. The brilliant ray cuts the hollow in front of us in half, leaving no trace of it. Nothing remains. The mountain summit has been blasted away, leaving only the smoldering wasteland behind. Damn, man! In the distance, the first rays of dawn light the sky. A glimmer of gold peeks over the horizon. My left hand hurts. The final command spell disappears. Then, I accept that it is finally over. Okay, but like, it didn't make clear that like the actual Holy Grail was destroyed, in the sense that the Holy Grail was destroyed in the previous war. Why is it different now? Is it just because it was completed this time? What's to stop it from coming back?
これで終わりだ。もう何も残ってない。
そうですか。では私たちの契約もここまでですね。あなたの剣となり、敵を撃ち、近江を守った。この約束を果たせてよかった。
そうだな。セイバーはよくやってくれた。
I don't know what else to say. Saber is far away. I don't try to run to her. The sun rises. The wind starts to pick up. A golden glimmer shines, seeming to last forever. In it,
最後に一つだけ伝えないと。
I can hear the determination in her voice. I try to at least sound strong. Saber sways. She turns. Saber looks straight at me and says, her voice clear.
シロ、あなたを愛している。
She said it. She said the big one too. Like she said the one that you use with like a wife and husband. She said the big one. The wind blows over the mountaintop. For a moment, I close my eyes, blinded by the morning sun, and then I open them again. I don't think I was surprised. I just had a feeling. Our goodbye was always going to be like this. All I see is the wasteland. Saber is gone, carried off by the gusting wind. Just like when she appeared. She left with grace without a trace. There are no regrets in my voice. Every memory, both of what I've lost and what I've gained, it remains in my heart. I'll keep them all there forever. I look out at the rising sun, hoping I never forget any of this, and none of this fades from my mind for a long time to come. I watch the morning glow spreading over the distant land below. It reminds me of the golden field she'd fought on. I hear a creaking sound. It's the old, heavy rusted door of the shed opening. Light pours into the crack in the door. It's enough to wake me up. I don't even need to look to know who's approaching. It must be that time already. I take a deep breath and open my eyes.
おはようございます、先輩。そろそろ時間ですよ。
そうみたいだ。おはよう、さくら。起こしに来てくれてサンキューな。い
え、お礼を言われることじゃありません。先輩ならきちんと起きてくれるって分かってましたから、私は余計なことをしただけなんです。
そっか。けど、ならなんでわざわざ起こしに来てくれたんだ？
わざわざじゃありません。今朝は先輩を起こしたくなって、いつもより30分も早起きしたんです。今日は特別な日ですから。
Then I remember. That's right. It is a special day.
さくら、聞くまでもないと思うんだが、藤音はまだ来てないよな。
はい、内村先生はまだ。でもイリアちゃんは先に来てます。
I knew it. If Ilya's here, then that can only mean one thing.
まずい。さくら、すまないんだけど、朝食の支度を頼む。俺、ひとっ走りして藤音を叩き起こしてくる。
はい。ご苦労様です、先輩。
Luckily, I was up late last night, so I'm still in my work clothes. I'm glad I don't need to change to head out.
10分で戻るから、あとはよろしく頼む。
はい、任せちゃってください。あれ？シロ起きてる。
なあ、今起きた。ちょっと藤音を起こしてくるから、さくらの手伝いをしてやってくれ。
I pat Ilya on the shoulder and head toward the front entrance.
やられた。もう、シロは私が起こしに行くって言ったでしょ。さくら
demon. It's a child, bro. Relax. Just get adopted already, you little shit. Wow. Wow. Wow, Rocket Pal. Since you wanted to get adopted already, why don't you adopt her? You ain't doing shit. Ilia fumes at Sakura as she stomps over to the shed. Sort of thing is hardly unusual anymore. Ilia said she wasn't going to return to her home country, so I talked to Fujini about taking her in. She vehemently opposed and suggested that she would take in Ilia at her house. Since then, Ilia has been staying at the Fujimura house, and of course, she's been coming over with Fujini mornings and nights. It goes without saying that they're coming for breakfast and dinner. The two have been living together for 2 months now, and they're practically joined at the hip. When I pass near the shed wall, I hear Sakura and Ilia talking. Ilia is pretty blunt, so I thought she wouldn't get along with Sakura, but that didn't seem to be the case. I don't think Sakura, after seeing how she reacted to Tosaka earlier, I don't think there's a person Sakura couldn't get along with. They're like an odd couple. Ilia is energetic while Sakura is more laid back. It seems they get along in spite of their differences. In fact, Sakura has regained her usual cheer thanks to Ilia. Ever since Sakura's older brother Shinji disappeared and was listed as missing, she'd stopped smiling. She must have sensed that he had something to do with the mass coma incident at school. Fretting over Shinji, Sakura shut herself away. It was Ilia who forced her to get over it. Sakura is her normal, cheerful self whenever she's with Ilia.
Sakura, 笑えるようになったよな.
I'm truly happy about that. Sakura is most herself when she's smiling, that gentle smile of hers.
Ilia-chan. 何があっても起こしてって臨時ボーナスまであげたのに。
Fujini is in tears as she shovels breakfast into her mouth.
当然よ。タイガを待ってたら私まで遅れるし、給金分は義理を果たしたわ。あれ以上の働きを要求するなら、臨時じゃなくて基本給をアップさせることね。
むむ。私だけじゃなくおじいさまからももらってるくせに、どうしてこの子は主戦度なのかしら。若い頃からお金にうるさいと周りの子に嫌われちゃうぞ。
嫌われて結構よ。好きな人以外なら何を思われても関係ないもの。それよりタイガ、貸したお金ちゃんと返してよね。給料日5日前だったんでしょ。
なんでそんなこと知ってるのよ、あなた。
タイガに聞いたわ。お望みなら明細まで話してあげてよ。
Ilia grins wryly. Unlike her more friendly relationship with Sakura, Ilia and Taiga are practically cats and dogs. Ilia gets really mean with Fujini. Even her smile reminds me of a certain someone's smirk.
返済は明日までね。できなかったらタイガのお小遣いから引いていくから。
おじいさま、そんなことまであなたに話したの？
ええ、お昼はずっと一緒だもん。タイガね、タイガより可愛いって褒めてくれたわ。どう
してくれるのよ、シロ。この子とんだ悪魔っ子じゃない。このままじゃ藤村組が乗っ取られるわ。
You can't blame Shiro for that. He said he wanted her to stay here. And you're the one that was like, nah, she can stay at my place. So, you brought that on yourself. You played yourself. Congratulations. More importantly, why does a grown woman still get allowance from her grandfather? Well, they're rich, man. Leave her alone. Grandparents with a lot of money just be doing shit. Leave them alone.
早いんでしょ？なら、ここで待ってるから、すぐに帰ってきてね。
努力する。留守番よろしくな、イリア。
Is she not going to school?
いっそのこと、ここの子になっちゃえ、バカ。
Fujini soaks and hides behind my back.
はいはい。タイガも気を引き締めなさいよね。外でシロに迷惑かけちゃダメなんだから。
Ilia shrugs off Taiga's comment. Looks like Fujini isn't really in a position to push back against Ilia.
じゃあ先に行ってるけど、 けどのんびり歩いて遅刻しちゃダメよシロ。
Fujini lets out an engine roar and disappears like a speeding bullet. She got a driver's license last month. Since she just got a driver's license. Since then, she's been late to school a lot less often. But now she has a new nickname: Rocket Tiger. Rocket Diver. She's the only one who doesn't know about it. I stretched and take a deep breath. Sakura's already left for school. She ate a pretty big bowl of rice this morning, so she must be pretty driven today. Today's a big day for the Kyoto Club. Now that she's the vice captain, Sakura must be really determined and enthusiastic today. Go to school too. Today is April 7th. No, it's April 2nd. Schools are starting the new school year, and the season has gone from the cold of winter to spring. It's been 2 months. I feel like a lot has changed since she left, but the changes all seem minor. Winter is over, and it's finally spring. That's the only thing that's changed. I might have grown and matured, but I'm not that different a person or anything. So, not that much has changed. Shiro and Mio is still clumsily stumbling along in Kiritsugu's footsteps.
おはよう、エミヤくん。朝から顔を合わせるなんて奇遇ね。
おっす。今日もいい天気だな、遠坂。
I wave in greeting.
けど奇遇か？ここ最近よくニアミスするだろう。まあいや、そりゃ今までこう頻繁に出くわすことはなかったけど。
Okay. Are you gonna put it together, or are we just gonna allow that?
出くわすってあなたね。
Tosaka narrows her eyes and glares at me, unhappy about how I phrased that. I don't think getting angry so early in the morning is good for you.
遠坂、もしかして登校時間変えたのか？前はもうちょっと遅かっただろう。早すぎず遅すぎずって時間だった。
So we just let him be a dumbass, Chad, or are we gonna tell him?
そんなことないわよ。今まで顔を合わせなかったのは空前でしょ。知ってる？エミヤくんと私の家、きっかり正反対の位置にあるの。だから普通に起きて普通に坂を降りれば、ここで顔を合わせるのは当然ってわけ。
へえ、それは初耳だ。そっか、それなら確かに。
Wait a minute. That's only possible if our daily schedules are the same. For Tosaka to reach this intersection at this hour, she'd have to wake up at 6 in the morning. But that's...
遠坂、お前、眠くない？
I just come right out and say it.
何よその言い分。私は眠くもないし無理もしてないわ。なんだってそんなこと聞くわけ？あなた。
いや、お前朝弱かったから。寝不足で学校に行くと化けの皮が剥がれるぞ。授業中に居眠りなんかしたら大変だ。下手に起こそうものなら寝起きの悪魔みたいな顔した遠坂が暴れるんだからな。
How rude. Like, who dares disturb my slumber? Kind of terrifying.
そんなことしないわよ。たかだか30分の早起きで不覚なんて取るものですか。
ほら、早起きしてるじゃないか、やっぱり。
ああ、人の起床時間なんてどうでもいいでしょ。つまんない詮索をしてる暇があるならさっさと学校に行きなさい。
I love her so much. Tosaka huffs and looks away. She has a point, so I'm going to let this go and just resume our walk to school. We walk up the hill. Downscape below has bloomed into springtime scene. The breeze is pleasant and the leaves of the cherry blossom tree planted near the school dance on the wind from time to time. It makes me smile.
何？今週はほとんどバイトなの？まあ、エミヤくんの時間だから文句はないけど、そんなんで体壊さない？
ね？いや、今日ぐらいは休みをもらったよ。弓道部で新入部員の歓迎会をやるっていうから、イリアを連れて遊びに行こうかなと。
なんかさりげにすごい度胸してるわよね、あなたって。平気な顔してイリアを学校に連れて行くあたり大物だわ。
His price is probably less that he's worrying about the consequences of something like that and more that he probably didn't think about it.
なんかまずいか？イリアだって暇つぶしになるって喜ぶと思うんだが。
See.
まずいわよ。まずいけど、そういうことなら私もお邪魔しようかな。イリアがいるなら退屈しないし、何より危なっかしくって放っておけない。
I'm grateful to hear her say that. Kosaka understands Ilya much better than Sakura or I do. It's not just that she periodically checks in on Ilya's health. Kosaka and Ilya are both proper mages. Ilya still doesn't fully understand that she needs to hide the fact that she's a mage, so Tosaka's been a great mentor for her in that regard. And so, things are starting to settle in their respective places. Okay, but why was she the Holy Grail, though? I assume that we'll figure that out in whatever route she has, but, why? Or whatever route talks about Ilya, I guess. I think she got points in a previous point in the flowchart. The new priest of the church dispatched has already repaired most of the damage from the Holy Grail War, and we've more or less gone back to our ordinary lives. There are things lost that we can never get back, yes. Wait, this game is not done yet? There's other things for us to do in the game, but this is the ending. But the wounds are slowly healing, and I should be glad to know that some of the regrets I felt before are slowly fading.
けど、意外だったな。
Tosaka mutters under her breath. She looks down at the town. Her tone is serious.
意外だったって何が？
私、シロはもっと落ち込むと思ってた。しばらくは立ち直れないだろうなって思ってたのよ。
She's talking about the girl who's not with me anymore. It's been 2 months, and this is the first time we brought it up with the golden-haired girl.
そうだな。俺もそうなるだろうって思ってた。その後のことなんて考えるだけでどうかしそうだった。
I mean, you know exactly what happened. She went back and she fucking died. Unless she became a servant again. In which case, the Holy Grail War is not over.
けど、蓋を開けてみれば、シロったら今まで通りだったでしょ。落ち込むどころの話じゃなくて、次の日にはもうケロリとしてた。その時にね、こいつ大丈夫かなとも思ったのよ。うまく言えないんだけど、次の日にはあっさり事故で死んじゃうような雰囲気だった。
なんだそりゃ。なんで平気なのにあっさり死ぬんだよ。
そういうこともあるの。人間ってのはね、何かの手違いで一生涯の目標を叶えちゃうと、それでぽっくりいくものなのよ。
Alright guys, you heard it here first. Rin Tosaka played Persona 3. It's around the right time period too. She played Persona 3.
もう生きるのはいいやと思った途端、赤信号なのに車が突っ込んできたり、あっさりと階段から落ちたりするんだから。
Huh. That's a little hard to get my head around. I guess she's talking about dying after living a full life or resting in peace, maybe.
だから私はそれが心配だった。ああいう時はね、いっそ派手に落ち込んでくれた方が周りは安心するものなの。
なんだ。じゃあ落ち込んでたら慰めてくれたのか、登坂。
まさか。背中に蹴り入れて1日で立ち直らせてやったわよ。それができなくて残念だって話。
You just said that you would. You just would have done it your way. He turns away, displeased. It's so funny, I can't help but burst into laughter.
何よ、おかしい？
いや、とにかく遠坂らしい厳しいセリフだったんで安心した。
We continue walking, enjoying the spring sunshine. The hilly road is long, and it looks as if it continues into an endless blue sky. Then she brings something else up, surprisingly casually.
じゃあもう未練はないんだ。セイバーがいなくなってもさ。
Her eyes are on the sky as she speaks.
あ 未練なんてきっとない。
I'm not trying to put up a front. I even surprised myself with how at peace I sound. Nothing was left unsaid, and I don't regret anything. Everything went into the moment we said goodbye. What I wanted to do, what she dreamed. Maybe we were both stubborn, and maybe I really should have grabbed her head and made her dream come true. But there was something we both felt was beautiful, and we both desperately tried to protect it until the very end. She literally murdered a dude? Yeah, but that guy sucked. I have no regrets. And she probably ended her time. I can't let myself be stuck in those memories forever.
シローの中では決着をつけたってことね。だから落ち込むこともなく、思い出に浸ることもないってわけ。
けど今も夢に見る。これから先もずっとあいつのことを思い出すよ。いつか記憶が薄れて、あいつの声もあいつの仕草も忘れていく。それでもこんなことがあったと、セイバーっていうやつが好きだったってことだけはずっと覚えてる。
Misaka doesn't say a thing. But for some reason, she looks elated. She's practically skipping now.
どうしたんだよ、遠坂。そんなに急いで。なんかあったのか？
別に。ただ早く学校に着きたいなって。さあ、そういうわけだからシローも急ぐ。のんびりしてると置いてくわよ。
She turns around and starts to run up the hill.
なんだあいつ。朝弱いくせに無理して。
I grumble, then sling my bag onto my shoulder and run to catch up. It's only 7:30 in the morning. It's too early for students who aren't involved in any club activities, but I guess there's nothing wrong with getting to school early. What the fuck? The moment she realizes she has a chance now, get some of that projection action. What do you mean projection action? What do you think he's gonna project? A bunch of dildos? Project a whole bunch of dudes for the gangbang and fucking sexual fantasy she has? What the fuck are you talking about? Project what? Today is the first day of school, the first day of the school year. I want to celebrate, I need to shake off old memories. Remnants of my memory will never go away, but I still need to go on, even if the emptiness in my heart makes me cry. Project these nuts? Oh haha, so original. That meme is almost... That meme is 10 years old. It's crazy how that meme is still around. It's 10 years old. The blue sky is off. The blue sky is off in the distance. I'm sure. I mean, the joke is not that fucking old, or is much older than that. But like the meme itself is 10 years old. It's funny that it's still a thing. Like the statue of Canis? What the fuck are you talking about, bro? It feels so close, but even if I reached out, I can never grasp it. I've looked to the stars before. There are unreachable stars and unfulfilled wishes. Nothing of ours remains behind. So someday, my memories of her, even the image of her face, will disappear. Never mind, bro. Okay, listen. First off, you spelled of wrong. Second of all, what's the joke? You just said Candace dick. Like, what's the joke here? And yet, Candace? No, I understand that Candace goes into Candace dick. I understand this. I understand that. What's the joke after this? Candace dick what? What's the question here? What's the joke? You didn't finish. You basically said, can I put my balls? And then just didn't finish the song. What are you talking about? Even if I can't ever reach her, something will remain in our hearts. There may be nothing physical. I always do this, man. I always talk over the ending of games and fuck up the tone. There may be nothing physical left, but we both shared the time together and looked up at the same things. Where'd her sheath go? Did she just take that with her too? If I can remember that, and believe that that we're all still together, even across such a great distance. Some things are bound to disappear, but others will never will. So I'm going to keep running. If I push far enough, I might one day reach what I was aiming for. The new beginnings of spring after the end of the harsh winter. Head up the hill under the same blue sky she looked up at its all. The battle is over. This is her final battlefield, the battle that split her country in half and ended with the king's victory. The knight runs to her. The battle is over. The blood-red sunset has faded, and now the darkness of night covers the battlefield. The hill is littered with corpses and curses. All that resentment tries to drag the survivors down with it. Through it all, the knight runs, breathless. He grips his horse's reins, and the wounded white steed does its best to keep up. The knight and the white horse are the only survivors. Draped over the horse's back is the wounded king. The knight must be wounded himself, but he runs with all his might. The king he serves is on the verge of death. Even after defeating the rival king in single combat, his knight sustained a fatal wound. The knight knows there's no hope here. His king will die soon. He calls desperately to his king. Or perhaps the knight truly believes that his king is immortal. So long as they have the guidance of the secret sword, the king will never perish. With labored breathing, the knight crosses the mountains of corpses and heads to the forest that has not yet been stained with blood. He knows only his king's immortality, so he believes that if he can only escape this cursed battlefield and lead the king somewhere pure, the king's wounds will be healed. Or rather, he hopes. Unlike the other knights, he's always believed in his king. The king had always been isolated at court, shunned by the knights and feared by the people. The knight was proud of the young king who never revealed any personal feelings no matter the situation, and always remained idealistic. The knight did not serve his country, and that is why he entrusted his sword to his king, strove to aid his king, and rose to the position of the king's personal guard despite his young age. The king whose true face could never be seen. The boy tried to be fair and selfless, and did not allow his personal feelings to interfere with his duties. Rather, he hoped that he could someday get close enough he could see his king's real face. That is his greatest desire. He wants so much to see his king's true face, not the stern countenance the king bore on the battlefield, but his king's true face, a smiling, laughing, human face. The moment would surely come in court, when the king is relieved of all duty. Even the most perfect king cannot be on the edge of all time. The knight was proved wrong, though. When he learned defied expectations, he reached the rank of Imperial Guard and stood guard at the king's side. He guarded the king more closely than any knight and always observed the king's behavior. But the moment he wished for never came. His king never smiled. Why does that make him so angry? The king should radiate glory, having achieved such success, but never once did the king seem at ease even for a moment. He couldn't stand it. He wanted to believe that this shouldn't happen, and so he wished for his king to be rewarded with light. That is yet to be accomplished. The king still remains solitary, and so the knight refuses to accept his king's death. It cannot end here. If it does, the great king will never be rewarded. Once they reach the forest, the knight leans his king's body against a large tree. It is a race against time. Even running on a horseback, it will take half a day to bring back the troops they left at the harbor. Any who see the king now will know that the king will not last until dawn. The knight bows to his half-conscious king and returns to his white steed. Before he can leave, the king he thought unconscious calls out to him.
おう、意識が戻られましたか。
少し夢を見ていた。
The king's voice is faint, but there's warmth in it.
夢ですか。
The knight's voice is imploring. The king's life is balanced on the tip of a blade. The Dark will surely take his king if the knight does not respond.
そうだ。あまり見たことがないのでな。貴重な体験をした。
それは。では、どうぞお気遣いなくお休みください。私はその間に兵を呼んでまいります。
The knight's words must have been unexpected.
何かご無礼な点でも。
いや、そなたの言い分に驚いた。夢とは目を覚ました後でも見れるものなのか。違う夢ではなく、目をつむればまた同じものが現れると。
Now it's the knight's turn to be surprised. For a moment, he is at a loss for words. At length, he responds, though he knows there is no truth to what he says.
はい。強く思えば、同じ夢を見続けることもできるでしょう。私にも経験があります。
Interesting. He says with Tashi. It's not possible. A dream is a fleeting thing, not something to return to. That's not necessarily true. People have reoccurring dreams all the time. Even so, the knight lies to his king. It is the first and last time he would do such a thing.
そうか。そなたは博識だな。ベリビエール。
King's soft voice is admirable. The king's head remains tilted down, not looking up at the knight. The king breathes so softly that it can barely be audible.
ベリビエール。我が命権を持て。
The knight receives his king's final order.
よいか。この森を抜け、あの血塗られた丘を越えるのだ。その先には深い湖がある。そこに我が剣を投げ入れよ。
おお、それは。
The knight knows what that means. The sword in the lake. To relinquish the sword that had protected the king and served as proof of kingship would mean the end of his king.
行くのだ。ことを成し得たのならばここに戻り、そなたが見たことを伝えてほしい。
The king does not take back orders. The knight takes the sacred sword and goes over the hill, his indecision weighing heavily on him. And so, 3 times the knight hesitates to follow his king's command. The lake looms in front of him, but he cannot throw the sword away. Doing so means his king will disappear. The knight's unwillingness to part with his king stays his hand, and so he returns to his king. Once again, the king orders him to throw the sword into the lake. When the knight lies and claims he's thrown the sword into the lake as ordered, his king simply replies, "Do as I commanded you." To defy the king's order is a great sin for a knight, but he has already done so twice. Each time he stands before the lake and he hesitates at the thought of losing his king. No more. When the knight realizes he cannot alter the king's decision on his 3rd visit, he hurls the sword into the lake. The sacred sword returns to the lake. A white hand emerges from the water and catches the blade, and the sacred sword vanishes from its world. That's fucking cool, though. The knight finally accepts it. The end of his king. The responsibilities that had so long burdened the knight finally come to an end. By the 3rd time he crosses the hill, the first rays of morning light touch the forest. The ruins of the battlefield now distant. There is no trace of the bloody battle. Only a thin haze covers the hill.
湖に剣を投げ入れてまいりました。剣は湖の夫人の手に。確かに。
My glorious king, I saw a fucking hand in the lake. My glorious king, I saw the bitch from the ring in the lake. She took the sword, I hope it's fine. At the king's words, the king's eyes opened.
そうか。ならば胸を張るがよい。そなたはそなたの王の命を守ったのだ。
The knight gives a silent nod to that voice, knowing that the speaker is on the brink of death. It's all over. Turmoil will continue to grip the nation. The wars will not end. The day of ruin will come soon. But the king's battle is over, because he, or rather, she, fulfilled her role to the very end. The light fades. With everything done, the last of the strength that kept her going is spent.
すまないな、ベリビエール。今度の眠りは少し長く。
She closes her eyes, slowly, as if going to sleep. The moonlight spills through the treetops. As the king drifts to her eternal rest, a hush falls over the forest. The knight continues his vigil over the fallen king. So her wish was to die? No, her wish was to obtain the Holy Grail so she could redo everything so that her country would survive. What ended up happening was she found out the Holy Grail, in order to grow her wishes, kills people, and she was like, I don't want that shit. She also decided that that's not what her wish was. So we destroyed the Holy Grail, and by destroying the Holy Grail, it ended the Holy Grail War. She got transported back here, and now she's dying. The king he wished for, the solitary king attended by only a single knight. As he finally sees the look he hoped for on his king's face, peaceful sleep. In her last moments, the king finally finds the peace that had so long eluded her. The knight is overjoyed. The knight thanks whoever gave his king such comfort and watches the king with a sense of pride. The heavens are distant and the clear sky is blue. The battle is truly over. I actually like how they say King Arthur. Arthur. His words ride the wind. The sleeping king appears to sink into the endless blue. A distant dream takes her. The battle is over. Let's put our swords down and rest in the momentary peace. After dozing in a warm dream, a new day will dawn. The days continue on, and we are still following the same star we once saw. I did it! I beat the game! Yay! I did it! Whoa! Oh! Okay, let's skip the credits. I cannot skip the credits. Alright, well. While that's doing that, I guess I should get my final thoughts for the main stuff done. Cool. I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. We will be doing the other stuff, and we'll be as soon as I figure out how to do it. Which is getting all the other routes. I want to see what Rento Saka was like. There's a lot of questions I still have, such as why the fuck was Ilya the Holy Grail? Who was Archer? right? I'm talking about Tosaka's Archer, who was Archer, right? I still got questions, so there's still more stuff for us to do here. However, as far as the main game goes, we're done, and I liked it quite a bit. As far as I'm aware, there aren't any other visual novels for Fate that I can do. Also hit the like button because we got demonetized earlier, and this music's probably copyright, so. And I really can't skip the credits. Chat, what'd you think? How'd you feel about the game? Produced by Type Moon. Oh, well, the credits are over now. A 7 out of 10. Funny. Could use more visuals. I think for a remaster of a game that came out in like 2000, I think it was pretty good. We're done! Alright. Well, as far as the stream goes, that's the end. When we continue with Fate Stay Night, it'll be do all the other shit. Can I check the other shit? How about if I hit continue? No, it just takes me back here. There's other shit in here. I think this goes onto other routes. I'm pretty sure it goes into other routes. We'll find out, I guess. If it doesn't go into other routes, I will yeah, like, see, there's like points in shit. There's a point system here, so I assume there's other shit for us to do here. But if there's not, you'll find out on the Discord, I guess. But yeah, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Tomorrow, we will either be playing Shin Megami Tensei 4, or we will be watching Devil May Cry. Whichever happens, you'll need to pay attention to the Discord for, or just show up for a stream. Which one happens also depends on if my, if I can get Netflix to work. I'm really excited for the Devil May Cry anime though, but I've specifically avoided watching anything related to it, so I'm like super hyped for it. Is it 8? All right, let me find someone to raid into real quick. Let's just rate. We haven't rated Amy in a while. Let's just rate into Amy. Amy's currently watching the direct, I think, but she's also playing old games. I think she's playing Jack and Daxter. I can't see it in her title yet. Let's go to rating to Amy. All right, guys. Like I said, I'll see you guys tomorrow for either Devil May Cry or for Shin Megami Tensei. Hope everyone has a great night, and I will see you later. Bye!